The one thing we don't do on Thursday Night Throwdown is screw around.
No, we don't.
By the way, have you guys seen Toxic Man Flu naked in the shower? It's like really disgusting. Like somebody vomited in a blender and like set it to extra chunky. It's really gross. Like every time I see him, I want to shave my eyeballs with a razor. We are literally the same height.
No, I'm definitely taller, Comics.
We got your back, Comics. You okay back there, Nick?
Brahmabull to TNT command. Target is locked. That's a confirmed hit. Target is down.
Oh, I get the helicopter because I'm the fat kid. That's bull. You, Kurtzman!
I don't have any hands and feet, Comics. I can't fly a plane.
You are still dangerous.
It's Thursday Night Throwdown!
Who am I? What am I doing here? Hello, everyone. Hello, my distinguished panel. Can I call you guys distinguished? Is that like
call us distinguished?
Well, the only person distinguished here is Brahmabull. So,
right?
Yeah,
that's actually kind of true.
Gentlemanly.
Well, no, it's just because you're
that's debatable. The gentlemanly part, but
yeah,
distinguished, yes.
Yeah, well, or
our special guest, the cricket.
Oh, we have the cricket again.
It's back.
I don't know. It's not dark yet, so we'll see what he does.
That's funny. Hello. I see we all survived our trip to the theater, and
yeah,
it's all Indiana Jones 5.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to see it, so you guys are on your own on this one.
You are better off.
I didn't get a chance to see it because the only way I could see it, I would have had to have pulled some regrettable strings, not just because of seeing it, but because in order to see it. But
oh boy,
so I couldn't take. Yes,
regrettable.
It's tough for doing bad things.
Would Nick need a suck to see the movie?
Not doing it.
Yeah,
he's outside doing hand jobs to get in, and
I'll let Mad Morgan do all that. That's his job.
That's that's fine. That's fine. I just realized that I have my screen not in a position to where I can see the chat. Hello, chat. How are you guys doing? Yeah. Before we get started, Release McCracken. It became a member at the I'll buy that for $1 level. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Darius Munchausen for 149 with a box of popcorn. How are you doing, Darius? It's been a while, man. Hope you're well. Hope you are well. Yes. So 3 of us tonight ventured out and saw Indiana Jones in the box office of doom tonight. Yeah,
the balaclava of death. I don't know.
Balaclava of death.
It's bad. I mean, but it's honestly not the worst film I've seen. I mean,
no, it's not. It's definitely. My wife was like, "Huh, what do you think of the film?" I was like, "I thought it was pretty meh." It's like in the Han Solo'd Indiana Jones. So
did you see Gary's take on that?
No, I haven't. I saw.
Gary said it absolutely was terrible, and Klobby ripped it apart on Mead.
I guess I'm just too apathetic to care for this movie or to have any kind of emotional value. I mean, there's trust me, there's a lot to not like about this movie. Specifically. Like I said, they Han Solo'd Indiana Jones, and for those of you who were smart and did not see The Force Awakens, not in the sense that they killed Indiana Jones, they didn't kill him off, but they basically turned him into a bad dad, and again,
Harrison Ford is a bad dad again.
Yeah, again, right? Because this is the second time, right?
Well, didn't they make him a bad dad in Blade Runner?
Yeah, they did.
So 3, the hat trick.
3, yeah, the trifecta. Yeah. If you read the spoilers on Reddit, they are all 100% true.
Wow.
100% true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I read most of them, and yeah, dude, it's like if the movie actually took place, like was I guess like the first 30 minutes of the film, where it's actually set back at the 1940s towards the end of World War II, and they were going after the Spear of Destiny, that actually could have been a cool film, right? That stuff I thought was all right. Everything else was just like whatever.
It was a whole lot of meh. And you know, okay, so are we gonna break it down? We're not gonna do spoilers though, are we? We're gonna.
I don't think anyone cares. Culture.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Let me
wait a little while
in the chat, and we'll see what they want. I'm pretty sure that nobody's gonna care.
It's really weird, you know. And normally I would be like, I'm not gonna spoil this movie for you, but I should know that I can.
Culture. This is not Spider-Man: No Way Home we're talking about.
This is true. I just.
No, let's just do a Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you want spoilers, give us a hell yeah.
Well, look, okay, this is generic adventure movie.
Yeah, there we go. All right, I posted in there.
All
so
right, people vote, and there will be no ballot dumps at 3 a.m. on this one. So
yeah,
your vote will count here.
Well, was it better than Crystal Skull?
That's not something to be proud of, even if it is.
Admittedly, that's a low bar.
Yeah, and I need a definition of better here, because it just.
So this meme kind of sums up what I thought of this film.
I saw that earlier.
Yeah, I'm amused, slightly confused, but yet it's understandable.
My hair is right now that long.
Yes, I know. We saw it on the Floral stream last night. He was celebrating his 1,200 subs, and they did a slideshow with all the pictures and stuff you were on there. It was great.
Great.
So.
Yeah, Floral. We have to celebrate Floral because it was a long time coming for him, and he needed to be there a long time ago. But the work is not done. He still needs the watch hours. So,
yeah. Make sure to do that. Okay. Like I said, if you guys actually saw the spoilers or read the spoilers, you would know what the plot of the story is. Or you know exactly what happened.
It's beat for beat from that Reddit thread. I was like,
dude.
holy cow. I mean, it
was funny because like in the first like 30, I guess, what is the opening sequence? Is that 20, 30 minutes?
It's 20. Yeah, it's 23 and change minutes. It's like, because I started timing it the moment we got the first like frame of film. So as
soon as you see that part, you're like, okay, everything's true because
it was beat. But I'm gonna say this because I was on talking with Mr. H. Kind of did a Q&A today, and we're obviously, I mean,
everybody's on us with Mr. H.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay,
it's fine. But I'm trying to get him on this show. It's just it's bloody the middle of the night when we start here for him. But anyway, he said the thing that I think is true. The first act feels like an Indiana Jones film. That first 20, 30 minutes it does very much.
I would say it feels more like an Indiana Jones film. Yeah.
It feels more like an Indiana Jones film than Crystal Skull did. The problem is the second and third act make you want to find some tall building to maybe.
Well, the thing that's kind of weird about it is that, okay, this is what was taking me out because obviously you had the de-aged Harrison Ford at the beginning, which I thought looked fine.
Oh, there was a part. Okay.
But his voice sounds like current year Harrison Ford. So he looks like young Indiana Jones with an old man's voice.
I think that's true.
Yeah. So they didn't do anything to make his voice sound any better. So that really pulled me out of it. And like I was telling my wife, I don't know. I was like, if they actually did just where they kept him de-aged and it was about them going after the Spear of Destiny, much more interesting film, especially if they kept it within the time period. And that's kind of the problem with the Indiana Jones stuff, right? It's like that Age of Adventure has a certain like range. Like you could, and not necessarily like just Indiana Jones. There's that very kind of pulp era, right? And I would always consider Indiana Jones to be pulp.
Yeah, it is.
And once you get out of the pulp era, Indiana Jones as a character doesn't work anymore.
No, And that's one of the reasons why this was probably the very last time you could keep him out there because of the year they placed it in.
Yeah.
Right. And it's hey Eric K, I hope you're doing well, buddy. I owe you a phone call. But no, we have we have of course the moon celebration, right? Because the astronauts returned from the moon for the first time.
Right.
And here's the problem with the film. You would have heard about that incident on the news if it happened during the film. This is a problem with bringing the things that you know about into the equation, because everybody would have known that there was a disruption in the parade that was that wide scale, right?
Well, you could technically say it's not in our universe, right? It's like it's alternate history, but even without that excuse, the whole parade scene was kind of ridiculous.
But I thought the whole reason they did it the way they did it was to put it, in the reality, because now we have to be real and gritty and all that other stuff. It's in your world.
I don't know. It's not really how I took it, but
but I do say this. I do feel like that first, you're spoiled the first 20 or 30 minutes. And when I say that, I mean it, because it's a letdown the next two acts.
I had an issue with the scene when he first boarded the train.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's bounding across the top of it. It reminded me of Polar Express. And I was like, oh, okay. You didn't need Harrison Ford to do that practical effect. And that was right after that, that's 5-10 minutes into the film.
Yeah.
And then that was right after the Mission Impossible trailer. So they went from Mission Impossible trailer. It was an AMC theater. So this horrible thing with Nicole Kidman, who looks like a mannequin. Oh my God. Horrible reconstructive surgery on her face. The face lift and all that stuff. So go through that. And then you see Tom Cruise doing his own stunt, flying off of this, base jumping and all that. And then I go and I see what looks like the animation from the Polar Express bounding across the top of the train. And I just felt let down. I was like, come on. You spent $240 million. You could at least give me some kind of real-time.
240? Yeah, it's way higher than that.
Yeah. The actual number adjusted for exchange rate is $327 million in production budget.
Holy crap.
And
that can't make any money off this film.
No.
Nope.
And that, my friend, is without any of the additional adjustments from reshoots and any other things that they did with CGI after that date, after the annualized date. So it could be significantly more than that. It also
trying to remember, didn't they do like a screening and it screened poorly, which is the reason why they ended up redoing stuff?
There was a screening a while back by a testing floor. There was.
Well, it was at Sundance, wasn't it?
No,
that's the other one. That's another.
That's before.
One.
Yeah,
this one was before Sundance.
Yeah.
Or Cannes. Before Cannes. I think the reaction to Cannes is pretty spot on with what we got. The way people were like, ugh. And the funny thing, it's like, I don't mean this to be a compliment to Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but the type of character she's playing, she was perfectly cast for, which was an know-it-all annoying woman.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a compliment.
No, it's not.
So she was supposed to be an asshole?
Yes. Yeah. Her character is kind of shitty in the film. And I was like, you cast the perfect person for that. Yeah.
I still don't get why they want to have characters who are supposed to be with the hero to be so bad, and unlikable. I don't get it.
Back to like the character motivation, I guess you can say, because she's supposed to be the daughter of this other archaeologist who's
that we've never heard of.
Friend of Indiana Jones.
That we've never heard of.
And basically, she's a grifter. She steals artifacts and sells them on the black market. Shit.
Wow. An actual
spoilers.
scammer.
Spoilers.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Comics got 130 votes here, 131, and 82% said yes.
Yeah. And 15% met, which I'll put in the yes category, and 3% said no. We'll put the spoilers banner up.
Well,
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
not
You
only
kinda,
was he a
that is-
bad dad,
Okay.
he was her godfather.
yeah, he's a
He was
bad,
double bad.
bad godfather. But yeah, I mean, you can kind of figure out the whole thing that she's a grifter, right? From the trailer, where there's that scene that's like, you stole it, I stole it from you, and then I stole it from you. Capitalism.
And then I stole it from you. Capitalism.
Yeah. So I mean, that was basically pretty much word for word.
Yes, Spencer. Yes, they do. Sorry. Just
What do you say?
chat. He's asking if they reference Mutt at all. Yes,
Yes,
he's
they do.
referenced
They
a few
do.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
As being dead. Which is why. Okay, let's talk about the whole thing with the Han Soloing of Indiana Jones. Something happens to his son.
Yes.
Much like what happened with Han Solo. His son is. There's Jason. Yay! Hello, Jason.
Hi.
How are you?
Jason.
I'm still processing, but I'm all right.
You're a day removed and you're still processing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what I basically said to everybody is, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, that basically they Han Soloed Indiana Jones.
Yep.
And by that, what I mean is that something terrible happens to his son, much like Han Solo.
Yeah.
It causes a rift in his marriage,
Much like Han Solo.
much like Han Solo. And they're basically, he's on his own, and then he pseudo reunites with, the love of his life at some point in the film. I mean, granted, go ahead.
I was talking to Mindy about it tonight. One of the things I don't hate it, but I don't like it. I'm leaning toward indifferent.
That's
Yep.
how I am too. I thought the movie was meh.
It tells the wrong story given where Indiana Jones is in the 1969 era. And I think I have a little bit of a unique perspective here because the bit with Mutt and the destruction of his marriage as a result of that was kind of it was kind of more of a gut punch than I anticipated it would be, because I've gone through that.
Yeah.
Right.
My firstborn son, I mean, he didn't go off to Vietnam. He only lived for 2 days, but that particular event, born premature, his mother had preeclamptic seizure, might have had apparently had a mini stroke in the middle of all of that, and my marriage never recovered from that. My first marriage.
Oh man, sorry to hear that.
When that happens in the story, I'm thinking I know exactly where he is emotionally and mentally. I know where he's at, but
it wasn't
that's
needed.
not the story we got.
Yeah, they didn't need to do that.
But let me suggest this real quick, Jason.
You had an opportunity here.
Right.
Yeah.
But let me suggest this real quick, because this was one of those weird situations where I was like, the only legitimate depth at any moment was that particular scene.
Yeah.
That exchange was the only moment that I felt like I was watching a real film, and I
fucking hated it too.
Yeah, but no. I look, I hate it. I hate it as part of the character and all of the way that it was written. But when it comes down to it, it was the only feeling I had in the movie, because Harrison Ford delivered that with such conviction.
Oh no, he did. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Well, what I was saying, the opportunity that was missed, because at the end, is Indiana Jones back? I was like, well, he didn't have any. He didn't have any place to come back from. We didn't explore that. That if you'd shortened the train sequence at the beginning because it was too long.
Oh, and the boring ass tuk chase. Holy shit.
Oh yes, that whole thing. I was like, every action.
The what chase?
The chase through Tangier, the golf carts.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Well, that was the clip that came out of
CinemaCon.
Right. And when I saw that coming out of CinemaCon, I was like, this feels too loose. The editing's too loose. It's not, the pacing is off. And it felt like that throughout all of the action sequences in this film. And it's, coming out of it, 24 hours later, I'm sitting there thinking, if we had started 1969, okay, we get past the train sequence. He wakes up in 1969 and we start with the divorce papers and Mutt's dead and all of that, but it just gets glossed over. And he goes to retire and all of this stuff. Now we have an opportunity here to establish that he has absolutely nothing to live for. He's done. I quit. He gives up. Indiana Jones is gone. And this thing with Helena pops in, and he's not going, because Minnie and I were talking, he's not going after this to protect her. He knows what she's been after. She's stealing artifacts to make money and whatever else. Like you guys were saying when I came in, she's a grifter. And he knows this, but he also knows the danger that comes with this Dial of Archimedes thing. It drove her father crazy, and we need to keep it out of the hands. Oh, wait a minute. What the Nazis are trying to get a hold of it because they think that they can do something with it. Okay. Got to do something. Fine. I'll put the hat back on. And he gets pulled back into this. And through that adventure, Indiana Jones comes back from his emotional crevice. And then you have some justification at the end for when Marion comes back and we're going to put all this stuff back together. And you don't have that story. That story is nowhere near anywhere in this film.
No, it's not. Honestly, even then, I'm tired of seeing our heroes being broken and deconstructed, and that's exactly what is happening here. And okay, before I continue, I got some super chats I want to get to real quick. So, Darius with the super chat, super sticker. Let me see what kind of super sticker it is. Oh, it's a thumbs up. Thank you, sir. Southern Belle for $2. Which was worse, Crystal Skull or Dial of Destiny? Okay. I'll be honest with you, I have not fully watched Crystal Skull. I don't have a basis of comparison, but I know that a lot of people don't like that movie.
Okay, well, here's I actually said this in my review that you'll see tomorrow morning. I said this: if you liked Crystal Skull, you might be interested in this film.
Cool.
But
pretty fair, I would say.
They're kind of neck and neck for me.
Yeah, I mean,
in terms of execution, I think the effects and the structure of the story probably holds together better in this one than Crystal Skull. But that's not saying much. It's a low bar.
I mean, it's and the action set pieces I would say are probably better.
Yeah, because you're not going through 20 minutes of CGI monkeys in the jungle.
Yeah,
I mean that was bad.
You don't have the refrigerator
or
scene, which was
the ants.
I didn't mind the ants so much. I didn't mind the ants so much, but
okay,
the monkeys,
the monkeys
were
swinging through the trees.
Yeah,
look, Crystal. Oh God, stop! I don't want to think of that scene again.
I want to ask you guys.
Crystal Skull was worse for me.
Crystal Skull was worse. Okay, for you guys who saw it on the panel, do any of you guys feel like there was somewhere in there couldn't have been a decent story if you took out the Phoebes and all?
I'll be honest with you. I think
if it was dead on arrival.
I think that if they actually just did a movie that was set in the 1940s at the end of World War II, and they're trying to get Hitler the Spear of Destiny so that he can revive the Nazi party or the war, and he's trying to stop them from getting the spear. I think that would have been a far more interesting movie than what we got. Like I said, there's a certain era which he works best, which is pulp.
That's funny because I was talking to Tim Harvey about it, my co-host on H2O, and he was supposed to join us last night, and I accidentally told him the wrong theater. But he said he actually came to this conclusion ahead of time, independent of that. And he said the same thing you did, Comix. Indiana Jones works best as a character, works best in the 30s and 40s fighting the Nazis. Right. That's his milieu. That's his mode.
Well,
So
It should be like Bond. Just keep going in that same timeline and swap out actors if you need.
I agree with you. And I look at it, Brahma, I look at it like this. You could have come up with a great title, Indiana Jones and the Untold Story, because you could have gone back before Crystal Skull and delivered that, and delivered this because it was, found, a found adventure or whatever. And look, you didn't need the wall or the bridge there. She didn't need to be present. You didn't need that. You just needed a motivation to get him to go after the Spear of Destiny. And I agree with Comix in that sense. The minute you introduce the idea of time travel, and yes, kids, there is time travel.
It's time travel in a box, though.
No, it's not. It's a bootstrap paradox, as Tom has been calling it from the very beginning.
Paradox, but it's a limited element in the story.
Schadenfreude.
I just still don't like that. That's involved in Indiana Jones.
It was the main plot. It was the main box.
Well, I mean, and we all knew this was going to be a time travel movie because they basically laid it out in the fucking trailer and also the Reddit spoilers.
Yeah.
Let me get back to super chats and stuff. So, I get Das Wolfen, who has been a member for 4 months of the I'll buy that for $1 level. Thank you, sir. We also have Reticent Voice, who became a new member.
Welcome
at the.
I'll buy that for $1, I believe.
Is it it is for the I'll buy that for $1 level. Let's see, Mr. Drow, member for 6 months.
Mr.
Spoil away saves us money. Okay, we will.
Oh God,
do that.
If you watch my review tomorrow, I will save you a truckload of money.
My reviews I'll record that earlier in the day and let it out. Let it out. Benjamin Flensborg, who's been a member for 2 months of the I'll buy that for $1 level. Hey, what's up, Ben? Speaking of Ben, for 100 Danish krona. Do you think we need a reference for Starship Troopers? And Brahma looks as handsome as always. Yes, he does.
That's right. All we know is if we all go to prison, Brahma will be popular.
Yes.
Well, the funny thing, behind the scenes, as soon as we're off camera, he just strips that thing off because it's summer and hot as hell in his garage.
Oh no, yeah, he looks.
He's very uncomfortable. Yeah,
it looks. I tell you what, he does have the same kind of chest hair he has on his head.
Yep. So, and then he goes to Bull's Milk production, and we all have to leave.
Yeah.
There was a.
I think we actually caught that on Monday.
Oh God!
He stripped down, not the bull's milk.
Oh,
yeah. I want to see the milking.
Stephen for $2. This movie is Harrison Ford's Jacob's Ladder. I actually like Jacob's Ladder.
Wow.
I thought Jacob's Ladder was an interesting film.
It was one of those movies that it took me the second viewing to fully understand it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it was like Nolan was in somebody else's body when that movie was made.
5 picoseconds for 5 Canadian. I haven't seen it yet, and when I do, it will be using my good friend Jack Sparrow. But let me guess, the movie isn't very good. As I said, I found to be.
So here's
we'll do this.
Here's my thinking about the time travel stuff.
Oh boy.
Well, if you can stop and consider what kind of movies these were in the beginning, the fact that they were the Saturday morning serial adventures that were styled after the 30s, and they were set in the 30s.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was set in the 50s, and it was Cold War. And in the 50s, you had the B-movie, drive-in theater, alien invasion type, the Blob, Invaders from Mars, that kind of thing. So with this one being set in the 60s, you have 2001, you have, you've got the time tunnel, and you got Star Trek on TV, and you start to have those, and it kind of, in a sideways kind of way, kind of makes sense that you've got some science fiction element in this thing, just because of the time period where it's set.
I get where you're going with that. But that's not Indiana Jones, though.
No, but that's the kind of movie that was made in the 60s,
right?
To a certain extent in some areas. And I think if you follow the tradition of the other films, if it's set in the 30s, it's made like a movie from the 30s. and it's set in the 50s. It's made like a 50s B movie, and now that you've got one that's set in the late 60s, what kind of movies were they making? And so I think along those lines, you can make the time travel work, but the time travel doesn't show up until the very end. Now, because you could go through the whole movie and the dial is the MacGuffin, and they could talk about fissures in time. Oh, that's so crazy. Everybody's talking about how crazy this is. And at the end, you didn't have to do the time travel.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily follow that it's critical to the story until you get to
it's absolutely critical to the story. They completely could have cut that part out.
When it happens. But if they take that part out, all you could do is he sets the thing, and you remember when Indiana says continental drift, you're it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
Then they could sit there and say, well, it didn't work, and you never go back. So you could have done that.
Yeah,
but anyway, I don't know. Like I said, I'm still processing. I mean, my reaction point, my entry point is a little bit different, and it didn't quite hit me the same way The Last Jedi did, but there was a little bit of that. And
would it have hit you harder if this came out before Last Jedi? The thing is, I think what took us off with Last Jedi is that no one saw that coming with how divisive and bad that would be. Whereas nowadays, we're talking a 6-year difference. Where nowadays we're a lot more prepared for the types of things that we get out of current year.
But again, this isn't the worst movie I've seen this year.
No, it's not. Hands down, it's not. And that's it's not good. Like I said, and for me at least, I would say I'm pretty apathetic.
Yes,
to certain things, to the point like, it's what do you think of it? I don't care. Right? I'm gonna use my favorite Harrison Ford line. I don't care.
Yeah.
So his press tour, basically. His press tour.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel about this movie. I don't care.
But I should be more angry with the destruction of Indiana Jones. I should be. But that's where it comes in. I don't care.
You're numb.
His creator already destroyed him.
Damage that you're at the point where you almost feel nothing. I think that's why I question where if this had come out 6 years before Last Jedi, would it have more of a sting to it?
Probably. It would probably have higher impact.
Tom's only here with us briefly, so he's going to give us a recap of the film. Tom?
Culture knew what I came in for. I have not seen the movie.
Make him full screen. Make him full screen right now.
This is my interpretation of the movie. Indiana Jones will be played by Indiana Jones, and Fleabag will be played by Teen Wolf, because I don't have a Fleabag figure. Oh, I'm old and I'm going to retire. I don't want to do anything. Hey, I'm going to steal your shit. You stole my shit. Yeah, but so did you, so fuck off. Let's go back in time. Whee! Bad guys. You stay here and fix shit. I'm going to go die. No. Psh, I get to be the hero. Drag him back to time. Oh, my wife is here. Yeah, I fixed everything for you. You're welcome. I fixed him too, by the way, wifey. Goodbye. There's the movie.
That is a pretty good recreation. Did you read the spoilers, Tom?
Of course I did, but it doesn't matter. Isn't this like the spitting image of like Fleabag? I mean,
yeah, it is.
Or me. But thanks.
Mm-hmm. But no, I did not see the movie, so I just hopped in quick to do the character recreation of Indiana Jones in the Dial of Disappointment.
And it's always great when Tom does those, because I feel like I really understand.
I'll be honest.
Wait, I forgot.
Angry.
That's not how the Force works. Okay, we're done.
Okay.
All right. I was actually more angry at Secret Invasion than I was with this movie.
Dude, it sucks. Oh,
I haven't
man.
seen that. I haven't seen it.
Don't, please don't. I feel like regret.
The funny thing is you can tell how popular the show is by the amount of people who watch my episode 2 review.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dude. Oh,
which is pretty fucking low right now.
I just
dude,
watched,
what they did with Fury is so stupid. I was like, you're kidding me. Really? Really?
Well, I just watched the 3rd episode of Strange New Worlds, and I'm watching this. I'm thinking, okay, this is alternate timeline fan fiction now. I don't care. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
With that, I am gonna be going. You can punch me out.
Bye, Tom.
Goodbye,
See you in the morning in the chat.
Yeah. Bye.
What? He said that Go Brandon Go was a crappy song, so I had to kick him.
So
it was
all
not.
Right.
It's a great song.
Number one.
I've listened to
hit
it like 4
in
times.
50 countries.
That's not how the force works.
I
That's
haven't
how
watched
the
your
Force
video
works.
yet on episode 2, but in case you did not talk about it, but guys, for those in the chat who know the books, it's clear that they are trying to build to the Super Skrull character, but because they haven't debuted the Fantastic Four in the universe yet, I think that they're taking elements from the Cole Obsidian, Groot, and other MCU types to make their own version of a Super Skrull. Because if you remember that computer screen when they were looking at all the different elements, comics, you remember that part of the episode when she was looking at the computer and it showed the Groot thing? Yeah, that is, they're building to a Super Skrull. It's clear that they're building to a Super Skrull, but because they,
I thought
books,
she was like looking to see whether the plants were growing or not. I kind of missed that.
I saw it as they're building towards Super Skrull because they're talking about advancing the power and having, and I think they're building towards that because
you're probably right.
That was what they built towards in the book with that. And also too, I mean, this should not shock anyone besides the appearance of the characters, who obviously are just, they kind of look like them in the books, even though they're a bit more scaly, but except they're not the hateful supervillains that they're known to be. They're still filled with the we'll just say 2019 film allegory that we know and love.
Yep.
And they add some unnecessary context for the year 1997, and you see Fury is married, and you know why? They're trying to play another card there with, look at these two people who are different and married.
I thought they're gonna go with I can't be racist because I'm married to a black woman trope.
Oh, dude, I
can't be racist against Skrulls because I'm married to a
Skrull. I thought about that too. Yep.
Yeah.
Look how tolerant I am.
Let's get back to. We'll get to that later. I do want to talk about Secret Invasion, but I'm not done getting through super chats yet. And one thing I want to point out is that I think nobody who works at Lucasfilm or Disney knows how fucking guns operate, because there's a scene in Dial of Destiny where the guy draws a Luger and you hear it cock.
You can't do that with a.
Yes.
Yeah. The memers are, so I just wanted to show that real quick. No Green Rocks is doing that there. Yeah, that's our bombs away thing. So they are memeing in progress. I thought it was pretty cool.
Nice.
You put that out there.
Very nice. Vincent Flensborg for 20 Danish krona. That says pretty legs from Nevada is still on U Comics.
Wow. There you go, Benjamin Flensborg. I look,
thanks.
In Indiana Jones and the non-anesthetic dentistry is probably akin to having your wisdom teeth removed without the benefit of drugs. But again, it's so it draws no well, but it just it
wasn't bad, but it wasn't anywhere near good either. It as you say, it was just meh. Mrs. Flew liked it, and we went together, and there was maybe 15 people in our theater. I checked the seats that were pattern sold, and they were not broken.
They were not
the theater. No, they were not. So, but yeah, it is what it is. But
I didn't check the other theater, which was right next to mine, which was theater or Auditorium 5. Mainly because it was in progress, so I couldn't go in and check. And obviously, when I left, it was.
I definitely could have gone in and woke those people up.
Oh yeah, I went to the. So I made the 3 o'clock show, right? And the seats that were pre-sold remained. I mean, the pattern seats, they're empty. Then I walked,
and they weren't broken.
No, nobody was. No. And then they break all those seats in the theater. So I went to the next auditorium on my second bathroom break because this movie is fucking unnecessarily long. Yeah. And And well, on that second break, because by the way, you won't miss anything if you go to the bathroom, just so you know, and except more of Indy's friends dying. But then I checked in on the theater that was adjacent that wasn't quite started yet because it started at 5:00, and so I roll over there and check it out. And there's like 6 people in that one. So I was like, all right, his film's about to go and there's not a lot of people in here. So yeah.
Well, it makes me feel better that my speculation was correct and not like, oh, it's just broken seats. Because that is a logical explanation of why. Yeah, it does happen. But
if they're all different auditoriums in the same pattern, no.
Well, okay, yeah. Well, the for mine, it's the same pattern for the same auditorium, not because they're different patterns with the different auditoriums, but it's the same throughout the that time period. Or the different time periods, I should say. But yeah, overall, like you said, I didn't get a chance to verify whether the seats were broken or not, and I'm guessing. I'll be honest with you, I've never seen a broken theater. Never. No. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, right? But totally, I've never seen broken.
I've seen one that clearly had been vomited or urinated on because they cover it with like a trash bag.
I've seen those. Those I've seen, right? But
apparently San Francisco's putting movie seats out for their homeless, so you'll get a lot of that.
Yeah. I looked at for those in the chat. I looked at an Illinois suburbs town. I looked at an Illinois right next to the state town. This is basically the right next to the state town I have to say next to for contest because it's basically the town where when big events happen, everyone for Chicago goes there because it's like 5 minutes outside. So in the suburbs, little suburbs town, the average theater showing had around 10% of tickets sold. And there was one outlier that had 30%. That was an auditorium of 250. And you're talking 30%. So not a good number on its best time. That was on a Friday at like 6 p.m. And I looked at the city, decided to look at the city, see if it was better and if it's not just a burbs thing. And it was pretty much roughly around the same. It was shockingly around the same. I was like, wow, this is not good. Because even let's just pretend you guys all came out over the moon about it. I don't even think Decent Legs could say this. This could be worse than Not Flesh.
Okay. 10 p.m. Okay. I showed some screenshots from some earlier showings, which were way more full than this, but this is the 10 p.m. showing. Let's go and take a look at tomorrow. All right. We will start at 11:30.
Did you ever count these seats in your auditorium? Because I was doing it so I could get a good estimate.
I didn't. I said there's probably about 15 people. Actually, let me get Eric K's comment real quick. Eric K for $2. Hollywood fails up KK extension. Anyone? Maybe. We'll see. Okay.
Tons of rumors that she's going to be fired.
Well, any minute now. Any day. Whoa, hang on a second.
4 years and counting.
Okay, it is different. Was this year? I was already seeing a pattern. Okay, so 3 p.m. A little better. 6 p.m. Okay, that's almost full. 10 p.m. Practically nobody. All right. So 10:30.
What's your Friday? Oh, these are your Fridays. Okay, these are your Fridays.
Yeah, this is Friday.
That's not good.
Yeah.
And are these traditional or these Dolby?
This is 10 a.m.
Is this traditional?
Because anything before 3 that shows before 4 o'clock, I think, is a discounted ticket, right?
Yeah.
What about, is this traditional or Dolby? Because they do have different settings for traditional and Dolby.
This is Atmos. We have Atmos, which is actually
what about IMAX screens?
This theater doesn't have an IMAX, so I'll pull up the IMAX later. But I mean, so here's 5. Okay, now we're getting to 5:30. Fucking empty. Wow. Okay. Granted, we saw a fuller one, 2 fuller ones, 9 p.m.
Almost empty. No.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Now let's get to the 12 p.m. or which is noon. Okay. Again, this is Friday. This is a with the reclining
small theater.
Yeah. It is a very small theater. Okay. Now let's go to the 1. Okay. And I think this might be one of the ones I showed that has the pattern. Is this auditorium? Yeah, auditorium 9. This is one that has a pattern. Okay, let's go to 3.
Yikes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 3 p.m. let's go to 4:30. Again, guys, this is Friday, and granted, they can sell more seats because sometimes they will, but still, I mean, like, if this was like back in the day when cinema was hot, I mean, these theaters would be sold out.
Yeah.
Well, and I like going in the morning. Like if there's a morning show, and
that was 7 p.m. Nothing. 8 p.m.
Most people do like going during the evening because they like getting groups together and going together. So, I mean, yes, there are outliers who prefer to see earlier showings, but most people like to go in groups and go in the evening. That's just, if you look historically, that's when most of the better ticket sales do happen, is evening showings.
All right, so this is maybe
people are just not wanting to get out on the last day of Splurge Month.
Even
maybe.
Also, if you look at the average theater, okay, so I said the best theater that I saw had 30%. If you doubled that, that's still 60%. 60% is still not good.
Yeah, but this is
11. Okay, this is IMAX, guys. IMAX, 11 a.m.
Wow.
And this, again, still it's Friday. This is 2:30. Let's get to 6.
So you probably got 35.
That would be the most.
40%
I would say be the most
best.
sold out show, right? Which it's not.
Wow.
That is 9 p.m.
Jeez.
And yeah, that's the last IMAX screening. So none of these are completely sold out.
Not even close. Like I say, even if you double any of those, whatever they had, and you double them, it still doesn't help at all.
No.
Okay, so if you're seeing an average of 17% sold per showing, in an average size theater, we're going to estimate at 250 seats, which is, a middle-sized theater. They've got big problems.
Oh yeah, huge. Mm-hmm. This is disastrous. This might be worse than not Flash. I
think it's tracking in China to do less than Flash and Little Mermaid.
What?
Wow.
See, I originally thought this was going to have a good opening, and then have bad legs. Not bad opening, bad legs, because I thought there will be some interest from casual people, which I could see why there would, but I guess I was wrong, man.
Well, I think more casual people are probably going to. I think the word of mouth is going to be better among the casual people than it is for the diehards.
How much better is better?
Not by much. Not by much. They're going to be people who said, I was entertained. It was fun. It was okay. They're not looking at all this stuff because, again, and we've talked about this on a number of different places. We are so locked into paying attention to all of this stuff. All the behind the scenes and the politics and the machinations and everything that's going. Most normal people don't pay attention to all this.
Okay, but Jason, how many normal people are going to movies now? Not many.
Yeah, but
I mean, selectively.
I think there's still a little bit of a difference. It's not going to be a whole lot, but there are going to be some out there that's just like, it was fun 2 hours. I was go see it. So
let's do this,
guys. I need to get back to Super Chats. So sorry to cut you guys off. So good conversation, but you need to get these.
Actually, it's not. It's horrible conversation. Horrible movie.
What is a horrible movie?
I'm leaving.
Ben, for another 50 Danish krona, says, I were lucky to be born. My mother was almost beat to death alive.
My God.
Wow, dude. I have happened to be here. I'm happy to be here. Hey, Tox and Nick. Wow, Nick.
How you doing,
Ben? Sorry, dude.
Well, wow.
We are better off for you being in this world.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for being with us and hanging out with us. We value your time.
Definitely.
Shout out to Ben Flensburg.
Yeah.
Good deal. River Miles for $10. Tuck Tuck was a new meaning in the 2023. That's what I was thinking too. It's like Tuck Tuck. What the fuck does this have to do with tucking your dick? Anyway, Tuck Tuck pre 2019, $500 taxi to make a living. Tuck Tuck post 2019. 30,000+
anesthesia.
a little two-stroke engine that runs as a taxi in a lot of countries.
MrTickleTrunk for 5 Canadian. It's the last indie movie. They should have been collecting all kinds of occult objects, and Indy has to face his
skepticism.
Skepticism. Okay, it looks like specticism.
Well, it's
yet again times 100. It's poop. Or poop.
Yeah, poop.
Yeah.
Well,
It
to
is.
answer Nick's question before, if this had come out before Last Jedi, I don't know that it would have had the same emotional impact, at least for me personally. It probably would have some, but you're at the point now where all of these things are almost not recoverable. Luke Skywalker, Indiana Jones, Han Solo, Doctor Who, Star Trek, all of them have been corrupted and compromised.
Destroyed.
So
Yeah, pretty much, man.
pretty much.
Seriously, it's not unhighlighting. Okay. So we can blame Indy for Dolly not having braces anymore, and the state the world is in now.
There you go. I agree.
Yep.
Just Nova 1138. It sucked. It was long, annoying, and too much melodramatic crap. And he could be happily married and forced on an adventure. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Raiders is still king. Yeah, and that the whole thing with like killing Mutt and him being separated from Marion was all unnecessary, right? And it's completely unnecessary. He could have been happily married, like you said, and for whatever reason, he could have been dragged into this adventure. Or, like I said, they could have said it in the 1940s, which would make a lot more sense and be on par for the character and everything related to Indiana Jones. I think taking Indiana Jones out of the 30s and 40s is a grave injustice to the character. Even like young Indiana Jones Chronicles worked because it's set in the 1920s, right? Or the early 1900s, I should say, not 1920s. Where again, that is still kind of more in that pulp era, maybe your dime store novels, type.
Yeah.
And that would work as the character. But to seeing like 80-year-old Harrison Ford running around in his Indiana Jones clothing, it just didn't work.
It's because it does. We said that 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. I mean, I was kind of complaining about him like in the 90s when he was like doing
I love it. Air Force One and
Air Force One, where he's like hobbling around. It's like, he looked old back then.
I was fine with it then. Now it's just too much.
I think the Mutt, I think the
good.
Mutt thing was probably necessitated by the Shia LaBeouf situation.
You could recast him though.
You could.
Yes, you can.
But
did they kill off his character?
Yes.
Yeah, they did. He died in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Oh, of course he
But
did.
like I said in the beginning, that gives you a starting point for an arc that we never saw, and they didn't do anything with the character. I mean, if you're that far along and you've got that much of an emotional hit from death of a child and a divorce, that's someplace where you can come from, and they didn't do that. There was
Hollywood
just
uses
like
this
Comics
as an
does
easy...
that one scene, and it's a powerful scene, but it's one scene in the movie. It's one scene out of the whole thing.
My problem with it is the fact that Indiana Jones is action adventure. It's not melodrama.
Well,
it's not drama.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and like I said, I'm not saying something like that can't work as a film. Obviously, it has plenty of situations, but with Indiana Jones, we were talking action adventure. It's not family drama, right? Which has its place. Don't get me wrong.
You said we've seen this before, and yeah, we've seen it too many places now.
It's
becoming a thing where just the way they create drama is, hey, let's break a perfectly good character and then have him go on an adventure to get right back to where he started at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Well, that was like a big 80s thing too, right? Where look at Lethal Weapon and certain things like that work too, right? Throughout the 80s and 90s, you had that kind of trope in action films where guy had a good life, something happens, and then it's about this redemption. And those are good stories. I mean, we saw with Lethal Weapon, Last Boy Scout, various things, at least with it. Okay, Lethal Weapon, he loses his wife or girlfriend. I can't remember if it's his wife. I think it's his wife.
His wife.
Last Boy Scout, his best friend fucked his wife and they got divorced, right? Which kind of like wrecked his life. Again, those are good plot devices, but when you take a beloved character and you fucking wreck them for the sake of wrecking him to deconstruct and rebuild them, it's not necessary. And it's not what I want to see out of an Indiana Jones film, right?
I think some of it is part of the generation of the people who are writing all of these films. You know, not just from a political standpoint, but from
life
from a
experience.
literary, life
experience. When you look at guys like, for comic book reference, look at guys like Lee and Kirby. Those were guys were veterans. They had big life experiences. Nowadays, you have writers who get involved who their best thing going on in their life is that they're hanging out at Starbucks on their laptop.
Well, I was going to say that there's like this one person that commented, and I almost replied back to them. It was like, your only struggle that you've ever encountered in life is somebody misgendering you.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of these, writers are. It's like that. The whole, even back to the whole thing with Secret Invasion, Nick Fury, it's another story about trauma. Nick Fury got blipped, and therefore he hasn't been right since. And he's hiding from the world on the fucking space station rather than actually being, I'm doing my job. It's fucking ridiculous. All right, back to Super Chats. Southern Belle for $5. I went on a date to see Crystal Skull. Weeks later, it didn't work out. Oh, that's unfortunate. Eric K for $5. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is a superstar. Bigots. Hollywood told us so.
I've never seen someone push so hard since the last time I saw someone push so hard, and that would have been Jonathan Majors. And before that, I saw several other people pushed hard.
Well, the whole thing is like, people want to say she's talented. She's not talented. She's popular, is what it is.
Well, no,
right?
She's not popular, dude. She's a dump truck.
No. I'm not talking about us. She's not popular with us. She's popular in Hollywood.
Oh, that's true.
She's flavor of the month. We've seen this before. Chris Pratt was in everything, and then Benedict Cumberbatch was in everything. Hollywood gets into this cycle where they have this one person that suddenly becomes the person that's in everything. And it feels like the push for Phoebe Waller-Bridge is kind of along those lines, only not necessarily on in front of the camera, because she's got that development deal for Lara Croft, and she's got a couple of other things, writing and producing and such. She's flavor of the month. She's gone in 6 months to a year. They'll be moving on to somebody else, and it could accelerate with the failure of Indiana Jones. I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge is going to get knocked down a peg or two, and somebody else is going to be the flavor of the month.
Well, I think the reason why Kathleen Kennedy has a type, I was going to say that. She likes brown-haired British women for some reason. You've seen them all throughout the Star Wars stuff, and then you see her in here. Not only that, she also likes recycling actresses, right? Just look at Freckle Jesus. How many things has she's been in with Lucasfilms? Okay, Star Wars, Willow, and Marvel, right? Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Star Wars, and now Indiana Jones. There's actually a few other. Fucking what's her name from Game of Thrones, Star Wars, and now Marvel.
Amelia Clark.
Yeah, Amelia Clark. So they have a nasty habit of going and recycling people for whatever reason. But like I said, I think Kathleen Kennedy has a type. She likes brunette British women.
Bad people on top of that. We got emphasizing that, not just that they're recycling people, it's just recycling people who are not good at these jobs. And it's clear that they're hiring people who hate these things. And it feels like that's how they're getting the job, is the more you hate it, the more you have a chance of getting hired.
Well, then that's what I pointed out in my my episode 2 review of Secret Empire. It's like, this is what happens when you basically hire people who don't like the source material or care for it. You get crap like this. River Miles for $10 says, Dial of Destiny has such bad legs, every seat should be accessible. That's pretty funny. Office Girl, Top Gun Maverick, was the last one I can remember that was pretty packed. For me, okay, the last movie, and I saw, I don't remember if Maverick was packed or not, because again, I usually see it during a time period where it's not packed, but it was fuller than usual when I go to like the 4:00 showing. Spider-Man No Way Home. That movie was fucking packed.
That was wild. I saw it twice, and one time the opening night, and the other I saw it on a Monday. It was the Monday after the first Monday, which is the first week leading up to Christmas. Monday at 2 p.m. and it was sold out. Monday at the grand. Like I said, it's Christmas week vacation for many. But yeah, it was crazy, and people were losing their minds like it was a big event. It kind of reminded me of that clip I shared earlier this morning on my Twitter. Like, I'm not sure if you saw, but there's a clip that's going around of people who are reacting to Return of the Jedi opening in theaters, and you see how nuts and enthusiastic people are, and we're missing that. We had a little bit of that when I went to the advanced screening of Maverick. A lot of people showed up to the Maverick screening. And then when I went to see it again on the third weekend, on a Saturday afternoon on the third weekend, it was jammed on the third weekend, not opening weekend, the third weekend on Saturday afternoon. Maverick had legs.
And that's,
it certainly did have legs.
And that's the difference. That's the difference maker right there. Something can leg it out. This film is not going to leg it out. It's made for, if you're not 35 to 75, you ain't going to see this film. And that's a lower proportion of the audience now than it ever has been, because they've done exactly what Kathleen Kennedy's goal was: kicked everybody that was older out. So nobody's going to the movies anymore. Congratulations, you got your wish. It's not quite the fuck what you hoped for. But interestingly enough, and because I love anecdotal stuff, and I like real data too, but because of the inspiration that Nerdrotic provided, people are sending Nerdrotic and many other people the screenshots of what their theaters look like, not just the pictures of the theaters themselves for the film, but also what the showings look like on the digital booking apps. Yeah. So you're going to start to see a flood of this, because people are tired of misrepresentation at what comes to these things. Like, if there's 10 seats in your 500 seat auditorium that are sold, send that to somebody. Let them know. Show.
Well, and it's the reason why I did that for my video talking about the ghost seatings, ghost seats.
That was great.
And I showed, okay, this one's a pretty packed theater. But the thing is like, it was only two or three of all the screenings they had, which was quite a bit. It was like three of them that were relatively packed, and not even, I'm not gonna say relatively packed. There was still plenty of seats. But there was, I would say maybe 2/3 of the theater was sold.
Yep. Yeah. And Moore makes a great point in the chat. When you're 9 or 10 and you see Raiders, it has a huge impact on your life. You're graduating high school and you've got, the last good film, Last Crusade. That was your childhood. You grew up with that stuff, and then Disney kept it alive for Lucasfilm by, building attractions around it. And then, and then you have generations that go on to appreciate it for a long time because of video cassette and other things. And then you end up with a fourth film, which was not quite received as well as the other films, but still did a decent amount of business. And then you lay off for 15 years and you destroy the legacy of the character. And you remove the ability for people to have context for it. And that's Hollywood's biggest sin when it comes to these things. So there you
are. Marks47 says for $5. You mentioned the other franchises. Nobody talks about how bad they effed up Quantum Leap. I think Az did. I didn't watch it. I saw some clips of it. I was like, oh, this looks awful.
I wasn't even going to spend time on that because I knew what was happening to it.
Yeah, I'm terrified that Amazon is going to do it to the new Stargate. Yes, they will.
Yeah, they will.
100% they will. 16-bit mascot says, I think people were already tuned out when the fourth movie. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
No, I was just going to say the Quantum Leap sequel is okay. It's not good. I see what they're trying to do, but there's way too much talk. And the interactions between Ben and what's her name are all really exposition heavy. And I was like, just get on with it. I don't. There's no emotional investment in any of these stories. I don't care about any of these characters in any of these shows.
Yeah, and that's ultimately the problem, right? Is that there's no emotional investment. That's the same thing with Indiana Jones right now. It's like
somebody said earlier, it's like we're watching CW or angsty dystopian YA fiction, and that really does feel like that.
Not wrong. Good range for $10. Tuck Tuck. Is that something from the rainbow section of Target?
This movie, I think, is going to sink faster than Target stock prices.
It's looking that way.
They predicted 65 million. I don't think it's going to get close.
But I'm having a hard time thinking we're going to hit that 60 million weekend.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, that's still pretty fucking low, if you ask me.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh yeah.
More
I would want to see 100 million for a.
We'll pull the article up because I love the fucking title.
199.
Yeah. Morb 357 says some folks have said this film is better than Indy 4. Is that true? Indy 4, I think, set a pretty low bar, and like I mentioned earlier, I haven't watched all the way through, mainly because I was like, "Oh, this is awful." I just stopped watching, and obviously,
I've seen them both. This film is better.
Well, and I'll just say, if you enjoyed Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, this film might be for you.
Yeah,
I would
sell it culture. Ride that pole, man.
If I had a choice between watching Crystal Skull again or watching Dial of Destiny again, I'm perfectly fine watching Crystal Skull more than once. Dial of Destiny, I've seen it once, I'm done.
You know, I think I could probably suffer Crystal Skull again. I will never watch Dial of Destiny again.
Yeah,
I would probably never watch either one again. I mean,
yeah, let's keep it not watch either, because why should we sink ourselves so low just saying, well, it's better than this, like this piece of garbage. Oh no, my garbage that was expired from a week before was better. Like,
well, this is something I like to say. Just because something is better than something else doesn't make it good, right?
Right.
Yes. Oh, that's true. I'm just saying.
You've actually made that point before on a couple of other things. Comics. It is a low bar between these two, but yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get at is never settle for those type of standards, because when you settle for those type of standards, then they'll say, okay, that's the new bottom of the barrel. Let's scrape another layer off and make that the new bottom of the barrel. But you've already accepted the new bomb, then you move on to the next one. It's a vicious repeating cycle. Don't settle for that.
Keck 44, who's been in the chat a whole lot. Hey Keck, how you doing? Been around forever.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll stick to the 3 Indiana Jones movies. There's still only 3 Indiana Jones movies.
There is only 3 Indiana Jones movies.
There's only 3, right?
The rest has been fan fiction. Let's see here. Just Nova 1138 says Disney stole from BTTF, Endgame, TFA, Logan, and soap operas.
Yep.
Yeah. Not from the old serials. This shows Disney / Lucasfilm use tropes and no imagination. Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of that, like I said, they definitely stole from Force Awakens with what they did to Harrison Ford's character. But again, Indy, in my opinion, sticking to it, only works in the serial era, the pulp era. So, and going outside of those bounds, it just doesn't work for the character, in my opinion.
Going back way into the lore. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll do that one, and then
let me grab that.
Office Girl. Remember, she said, "I'm not going to give birth to that. I'm not going to take that chicken sandwich to term like a year and a half ago, and it killed us for like 2 hours. She's going to go make a sandwich. I'm dying back here with the mute on."
That's funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, there we go. Society Reviews for $2. Someone meme culture to look like Sir Mix-a-Lot. Okay, you heard it, memers.
That dude's got weave.
Go forth and meme. Davina Duckworth says time is precious. Absolutely. That's why you should not waste it with bad entertainment.
Not waste it.
Eric Wenberg for $2. Rancid is less than odiferous. Avoid both. Only 3 indies. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Eric Wenberg.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, and the people who are making this stuff, they grew up watching the TV shows and the movies. They didn't read the classic literature that gives them an understanding of story structure. And you talk about the tropes and the things that we pull from other things. I mean, Picard did it, and I saw this in a movie, and I'll use it. And wouldn't it be cute if? Wouldn't it be funny if? Tee hee hee. Look what they're doing with Spock with Strange New Worlds. They're pulling these ideas off of stuff that they've seen in Joss Whedon TV shows or CW or whatever. And that's what they know. That's what informs everything they do to create. And it's very shallow, and it's very misinformed, and it doesn't give them any kind of an appreciation for why something works in the first place.
Yeah.
All right, I'll shut up now.
No, dude, you're good. You don't.
No, you keep going.
No. Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Miles $10 says Indiana Jones and the catheter of Medicare. Very true. Does this dress make my ass look fat for $5? If you switched out Phoebe Waller-Bridge with someone like Anna de Armas, how much improvement would it make to the movie, and who would you pick as a replacement? I honestly wouldn't change. Wouldn't change the film at all, in my opinion. Just because you have a better actress that has more charisma and is far more attractive. Honestly, it doesn't change how bad the film is.
Yeah, because
the problem is the film itself. Yeah. Sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, you nailed it, Tox. You were saying exactly what I was going to say. It's the freaking writing. It was everything that Kathleen Kennedy wanted in the film. It's clear.
Right. It's clear. Well, I mean, we're going to talk about something on Monday that happened today, Supreme Court, but they threw good writers that just wanted to write good stuff, no matter what the color of their skin or their creed or anything, out of the writer's room. They did that on Star Trek. They've done it with all these movies. They brought these people in, and they have no idea how to perform their craft at all. They can't write for shit. And you look at someone, why does Critical Drinker make great videos? Because he's a storyteller.
Yeah, that guy knows how to write.
The guy knows how to write. He's written multiple books, things like that. Mahler just knows how to stop a frame every second and write a book about it all. I mean, the guy's just knowledgeable as heck, right? But they can tell a story. And that's why people watch their video. That's why people watch Gary. He can still tell a story. And things there. And we can't get... I would have loved to have seen this movie if Script Doctor had done the script. I think it would have been one of the best indie films that have been made, because Script Doctor knows what he's doing.
Yep.
And he can tell a good story.
Yeah, so, he definitely, if you ever watch his videos, he knows how to break things down and basically point out what they did wrong and how you can fix it. What you got shared here, Jason?
Well, somebody mentioned Anna de Armas, so I felt obligated.
Very attractive. Far more attractive than Phoebe Waller-Bridge, that's for sure.
Yeah, but Helena is written for us to not like her.
Yeah.
It was all of this stuff going into it, all the rumors about her being girl boss Mary Sue. We're not supposed to like her.
Well, she's not really a Mary Sue, I would say.
No,
she's
not. She's
just
dumb.
not likable.
She's full of herself, and she has a little bit of a comeuppance, but we're not supposed to like her. No. And she's not a good person.
No, it's like I said, they cast the perfect person, the player. Seriously,
you know what? I am going to give the movie credit for that.
Wow.
She is not a Mary Sue.
They cast an asshole to play an asshole.
Well, I
guess I give credit as well for that.
They cast an unlikable actress to play an unlikable character.
Well, cast a type sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is like she wasn't nearly as insufferable as I thought she was going to be.
Agreed. Yep.
It's just, what's the point of having a movie where you have protagonists? And
doesn't mean she's not annoying, culture. Doesn't mean she's not annoying.
This is intersectional feminism, the movie.
What's the point when you don't like one of the main characters? Like, it'd be one thing if it was a villain, but this is supposed to be the someone who's on the same side as Indiana Jones. What's the point?
Except she's not. She's out for herself. And that's very clear from the very beginning. Is she's getting that
she needs
thing, and then she's gonna go sell this thing for money.
But she still needs him involved in order to get her needs fulfilled. So she's still on her side. We could try to rationalize her position all day, but she's still on her side.
Jason, you proved my point, though. She is playing herself like she does in every other thing that she does. She's a woman hoary chick that is just like slays D all day long, in real life, whenever it rolls in front of her. Right, she makes herself available to it. She did the same thing in the film.
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying.
We're not. Nobody's defending this.
I'm
just saying she's not on Indiana Jones's side. She's on her side. She's doing what she's motivated to do, and he gets caught up in.
Just like real life, she is playing herself in every role as herself.
Yep.
And it's clear. I mean, Fleabag was her creation. She is Fleabag. And she's Fleabag in everything else she's ever been in, whether she's a robot or this Helena Goddaughter character or whatever else. So, yeah, it's intersectionalism, the fucking movie. Intersectional feminism. I'm just telling you right now. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm angry. And I haven't slept a lot. Because
you know what's funny, Culture?
Oh, God, Culture's so grumpy.
You have a character arc in the hour and 15 minutes we've been on TNT. You went from fair to average mediocre, and now it's, man, this movie's really bad. You've had character development in this one episode. In this one TNT episode, you've had character development.
Yeah. Me? Yes, I'm getting
you're getting hit. Now you're realizing more and more how bad, actually. I think Comix by the end of this episode is going to feel the same
You know what? If Culture were to eat a Snickers right now, he'd turn into Betty White.
Probably true, but I know this. I agree with Davinia Duckworth. I should have taken a nap during the Tuk Tuk chase. I know people who did, including Mr. H.
Okay.
I want to point this out because Rod is spot on. He says, astonished how a 7-year-old character played by an 8-year-old actor spends the third act running around with a gunshot wound.
And it wasn't in his shoulder. It was in his upper chest near his heart.
Yeah, it was like right here. Okay.
How is he not dead?
That should have clipped his heart.
I'm thinking
he drank from the Holy Grail.
Yeah,
that's right. He's got the Holy Grail.
He drank from the Holy Grail.
Stupid. Dude.
He knows where the cup is.
It goes back to the whole thing with these people don't understand guns. Because like I said, when the guy draws the Luger and you hear it, you hear it self-cock, it's you don't see him do it. It's just again, this is the problem I have with guns and entertainment is that if you are a secret agent, a spy, a bad guy, or whatever, and you have to cock your gun when you're drawing it, you're doing it wrong. Okay. Mm-hmm. If most people, I would say 99.99999% of the people who conceal and carry or open carry, have a round in the chamber. It is a Hollywood trope that needs to go away, in my opinion. The one thing too, which I'll point out that I saw in Secret Invasion episode 2, there is a muffled gunshot. Somebody's using a suppressor, but nobody has a suppressor on their weapon.
Hey, oh my God, the self-cock.
No, Comix, yes. I gotta ask you.
Hold on.
Oh my God, the cock.
Oh,
yeah. There's a scene where the Skrulls go in and invade a butcher shop because that's where they're torturing this guy.
Yep.
And there is a muffled gunshot. It's not, you hear pew, like it's suppressed, and then they bust in and nobody has a suppressor on their weapon.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's done like that on purpose to make it seem like, people don't know how to actually use guns? And if you do, you're an idiot. So, and then obviously those are not good people in that room. So they're trying to make it seem like only bad people use them. So that's what I think about that when I see gun incompetence. When I hear you guys talk about gun incompetency, that's what I get, is that they make it seem like it's like a mindless thing, that there's no actual structure. How, like the way you guys talk to me about how to use guns, it seems like there's a process, a method to it. These people don't. I feel like that's how they perceive people who use guns, as it's a mindless thing. So they just
not only that, Nick, dude, like legit in the first episode, in the opening scene, somebody gets shot and nobody has a gun. Like you have fucking Ross being strangled by this other agent, and you see earlier in the scene where he has a gun in his sock, and he does the cocking thing, which I complain about because it's dumb. And then he's being choked to death, and you hear a gunshot go off, and he rolls him over, and there's no gun in his hand. It's like he got shot, but nobody has a gun.
$350 billion or however much they spent on this film. There were 20 continuity errors when I stopped counting. So you remember the bridge, that rickety old bridge that the huge guy and all this everything. They break the bridge, and right after this and all this stuff happens, the bridge is back fixed.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh come on, So this, you go back to, they've got incompetent people in key positions making these films. And there's usually some very competent people who watch for those kind of continuity errors. And they make sure that they're not on the storyboard. Those are two scenes that would have been storyboarded because they were key.
You also have the script supervisor who's on set when they shoot, and the scripty has a notebook, a 3-inch ring, 3-ring binder that's about yay thick. Yep. That has everything. It has all of the storyboards, has the script, all of these notes. So and so did this. Puts her gum in her mouth at this line. This thing here, walks left to right. Everything that happens. The scripty is writing notes furiously throughout this whole thing, and taking continuity photographs and Polaroids and all this just to make sure that it all matches. That's the job of the script supervisor. And if you have something that egregious where one thing doesn't match the other thing, scripty missed it. No, interference missed it. Because I guarantee you that was not a scripty thing. That was from a pickup. That was from a reshoot. I mean, they needed a different way to cut a scene together. Yeah, but even with reshoots and anything like that, your script supervisor has all of those notes, and you're supposed to use those notes to make everything match. That's why it's there. But it's real sloppy. I mean, we've seen Lucasfilm do this before in Star Wars stuff, where you end up with continuity just being destroyed. This is not new for Lucasfilm. Not new.
Yep. All right, let's get some super chats. Toxic Man Flu for $2, Indiana Jones, and the
suppository of suck.
Oh, I thought it's a suppository of cock. Bummer.
That's pretty funny.
Oh,
Mecha J for $5. Crystal Skull is greater than Dial of Destiny. Not culture. Sorry, CS has its
culture has problems.
I do.
Yeah, I was thinking Culture Casino for some reason. Crystal Skull has its problems, but at least it doesn't have an unlikable character like Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Fair enough.
Yeah, that was not just a Freudian slip; it was a Freudian smackdown on me. Thanks. Although culture, I'm curious to see what your drunk Anna review of Dial of Destiny would be. Oh God!
Technically, she was being a critical drinker.
She crushed it last night. So we might have had something to drink on that stream. A little. Yeah.
Oh, Culture had a lot. He talked about his backdoor with Chris Gore.
I don't think I did that, but I do know that
you did.
Chris Gore into your backdoor.
When we got to hour 5, I'm not sure I remember anything after that.
Hour 3, guys, for those who are wondering, hour 3, it's there. I stayed up and made sure, because I was not gonna pass this opportunity to watch.
What time was it? It was so that would have been 4 something a.m. your time when we were calling it a day. Because I mean, I don't even remember. I don't even remember. I was I got 3.5 hours of sleep last night. Anna doesn't remember her review either. Oh, it was fantastic. It was
what were you guys reviewing?
Oh, she was reviewing RRR. Dude,
okay.
Surreptitiously, without warning, she went full ad hominem attack on anybody who's recommended that film to her. It was ridiculous.
Really?
Oh wow!
I finally saw it. It was a great film.
No, well, Anna just was there. Dude, she took Palpatine's thoughts to heart. She was letting the hate flow through her. Wow. It was amazing.
Yeah. I watched it with the wife and she liked it too. Toxic Man Flu for $2. Indiana Jones and the rest home of I forgot.
Yeah, I don't know. So we were talking about theater stuff, right?
Oh shit!
Here's Primarch Vulcan.
Oh no!
And this is the Saturday 5 p.m. for Indy 5.
No.
1, 2, 3,
wow,
4,
at Park
5,
North,
6.
huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You make me want to pull up the one that's got the 250 seater that I mentioned to you guys. I'll pull that one up. But yeah, this is
I mean, it's just
that's the prime time, and it's not doing well.
You're watching the death of, I think, movie theaters.
You're watching the death of Disney. Movie theaters are fine. Mission Impossible is going to make $1 billion, right?
You're right. It's got to be a good film. No, you know what it is. I think we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. It's the middle film, right?
Yeah,
it's the film Taken, right? That was made for $25 million and ended up making 350 or something like that. That's where they're losing their money. They're not making money on the horror films like they used to.
Well, so, part of it, yeah, you're right. And we've mentioned this before where
I don't know how this happened.
What the fuck is that?
Magic poop. And that must be, what is he holding there? In the Temple of Dung?
Oh no.
I was like, Brahma, I regret seeing this.
I regret seeing this as well.
Yep.
All the quotes.
Comix text me pictures like this. Oh,
all the quotes.
No, that's the other way around, buddy. That's you text me pictures like this.
Well, that can go with the Shakara stones, though.
That's
oh.
Magic Poop nailed it, not just because of the hilarity, but what he nailed is he nailed things that we would say. He knows what we would say as far as like our lingo and our voices and everything. I could see Brahma saying, "I regret seeing this," with his very like just very stoic voice. And yeah, of course, I would say it's huge. I would, and we all know culture.
Yeah.
We all
looking
know.
good, Comix.
All right, Suman Eldritch for $25 says, I'm looking at RT and the audience score is 88, which I can't believe. The shilling is strong with this one. I would say look at all audience scores and see what the real one is. I don't know. I think maybe normies will like it. I'm not sure. I mean, like I said,
I have to say, Mrs. Flew and I sat there and she liked the film. She said it was an indie film for her. So I think that there are normies that are going to like this film. There was a lot of action in the film. It was 30 minutes too long. I think all the movies that are coming out are 30 minutes too long. Dungeons and Dragons was 30 minutes too long. John Wick 4 was an hour and a half too long. No, it was 30 minutes too long. The Batman, I thought it was a great film. The one with Pattinson, I understand.
Fucking hated that.
I do not like comic books. I've never read them, all that stuff from there. So all I know really Batman and all that stuff from is from the films. And Spider-Man sucks. And
they didn't do the Riddler right.
The last 30 minutes of that film was awful.
Yes.
You didn't need it. Right. You didn't need it.
No, you didn't.
There's a lot of things that can we not just forget about the elephant in the room, how they did damage again on the Wayne parents. And I'll say it too.
Yeah.
Joker was complicit in this too. The Batman did it worse. The fact that they were trying to make the dad work with the mafia, the dad, Thomas Wayne, would never do that. And Martha became another crazy mental health lady. I'm like, no, these people are genuine philanthropists.
I think with Joker it's different. Because Joker,
I know is different. I still hate that they did that to those characters.
I don't even view Joker as a Joker film. I swear to God, I stand by this. Is that he wrote this film, nobody would touch it, and somebody said to him, if you make a comic book movie film, it will sell. And because I think the character's name was Carnival or something like that, and that's why I think the original thing was titled rather than Joker.
You're probably
and then he made
right.
tweaks to it. Okay,
you're probably right. I still hate them both.
I think
I'll forgive Joker more because it knows it's not within that universe. But regardless, the point is, it's clear that they see it as, they're white and they're rich, so they need to be seen as people who are bad, even though they're like some of the best people on the planet in the DCU. That's what the Waynes are supposed to be. They were philanthropists.
Yeah, but hang on, Nick. You read Hush, right?
Hush.
Or not Hush, The Long Halloween.
Because
that's where they established that Thomas Wayne helped Falcone, because they brought him in, put him on the table, and he did surgery there at Wayne Manor. Not the fact that he was working with Falcone, but that's where that idea came from. Was from Long Halloween.
That comic, yeah, and that was way worse than the movie. Because that was straight up,
right?
He's a part of them.
So,
whereas Morris Thomas Wayne is like, okay, I'm in a compromised position. This was okay, yeah, no big deal. I'll do this. Why not? It was good they were doing it because they seem as the rich and the white, and they had to be evil this way.
And I'm coming from that movie from an aesthetic standpoint. I like the noir type of
the Joker movie was supposed to be called Arthur. That would actually make sense.
That makes sense. So,
Arthur, he does what he pleases.
Tomato meter 66% for all critics. You go to top critics, it's 53.
Yeah,
but the verified audience 89, all audience 83.
Okay,
but this is early.
That will go down.
Yeah. Let me suggest that the people who knew what this film was didn't go, and the people who are burned out on Disney and Lucasfilm didn't go.
Well, okay, that's a very valid point. If this movie underperforms, like we're talking about, it means the people who didn't want to see it didn't go.
Look at the theater numbers.
People who leave a bad review didn't go and see it.
Right.
People may have felt like leaving good reviews because they got special deals to go see it early, or they got free tickets too because they were doing so much giveaway crap.
Okay, so I don't understand this pattern.
This is 11:30 a.m. Saturday the 1st at the theater where I saw Indy last night.
So it's 40% occupied.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, there's 100 seats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
there's 100 seats.
I got one from my side here. As I mentioned, it was around. It was a 250 seater, and it did 10%. Once again, even if people like this, and even if you double that number, if you don't mind me sharing the screen real quick, this is not good. Even if people are enthusiastic about this movie, the type of legs this movie would need to have would be like the likes of like a James Cameron movie. As much as I hate them, I think it's all safe to say we all know his movies do have legs, whether we like them or not, here or there, but they do historically have legs. Look at this right here. I counted this. This is 250 seats, and 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, 22 seats out of 250. So you do 22 by 250. That's like what? Less than 10%. And once again, that's prime time right there.
There wasn't anybody in our theater under the age of 40. There were so the theater we were in, the sides, they have these half moon booths. So you can bring in food, sit in, they have a table, and sit as a family. So the two of those were occupied, and they were people our age and their parents.
I honestly, I didn't check. I got there a little bit late. I went to the concession, got my stuff. I went, sat down, started eating my food. And when the credits started rolling, I got up and left because I don't need to be there any longer than I have to.
There weren't any stingers.
That makes sense for Indiana Jones, though. Unlike Star Wars had the prequels, so they hit a whole nother generation, which still generated more interest after the prequels.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones didn't really have anything except for Crystal Skull, and that was already way too late to catch a new generation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I do want to say
we are the only ones that should care about this. Really.
Yeah. And so they're grabbing the last bit of money they can out of this. I will say this, Donnie Pearson is correct. I thought the score of the film was very good.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
John Williams, that's why.
He's a god when it comes to this stuff.
MrTickleTrunk says, Comix Division, you guys are talking seating plans for half an hour. Ha, gay.
Okay.
I've also been trying to get to Darius's, super chat for about half an hour too. Sorry, Nick. Let me get this real quick.
No, go ahead. Finish it.
Darius Munchausen for $2 says they cast Fleabag to play a pain in the ass. Yeah, they did. They did. Go ahead, Nick.
I was just gonna say, is the music at least worth checking out on its own? Because I do like John Williams, and I have listened to a lot of his soundtracks on their own. Is this soundtrack worth checking out?
Yes.
Okay, I'm actually.
If you like soundtracks,
I actually do like. That's one of the few things I like outside of barraging, blisteringly crazy music. I do like a lot of movie soundtracks. No,
okay, culture's calling a timeout.
Okay, culture, hold your cock.
No, the soundtrack doesn't save it. I love John Williams.
Nobody said it saved it.
Nobody said it saved it.
It's good music. It doesn't save the story.
No, it isn't.
That's cool.
It like
on its own.
Man, I don't know, dude.
How dare you?
Helena's theme is suits her, which means it's not John's heart wasn't in it. You could tell. John is amazing.
9,000 years old.
I think mostly for me, whenever I hear music in a film, if it blends, I don't notice it. Like really bad music that stands out is like for me, The Mandalorian, because it's like this music is awful. I'm not gonna say I had a problem with it or not. I honestly I didn't pay attention. I heard the indie theme, and that was really it. It's like I'd never noticed anything else when it came to theme music.
Okay. Look, there were lots of wonderful things that will bury your ass off in this film because it's.
Oh yeah, you were absolutely correct, sir.
Yeah, but the newer stuff is, and it's not John's fault. It serves the character well because the character sucks. Anyway, Jason, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to brag on my wife a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because she got me this. It is John Williams.
Wow. All the disaster films.
Towering Inferno.
Yeah.
Towering Inferno, Poseidon Adventure, and Earthquake. These just came out from La La Land Records, I think is
nice.
Wow.
She got me this. And
she likes you.
She got me Big Trouble.
Big Trouble.
Yeah. And she got me a 2-disc set Lady Hawk soundtrack.
Oh, wow. From the old school.
Includes the radio commercials.
Wow.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
She really likes you.
She does like me.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's pretty
even,
cool.
Even after I broke a rib.
Jason.
Whoa, buddy.
Jason, do you own both of the original Batman '89 soundtracks?
I have to go back and look. I think I have them both.
Because you have the orchestrated soundtrack from Elfman.
Yeah.
And then you have the rock soundtrack that was dominated by Prince.
I think I've got the Elfman score. I'm not sure about the Prince score. I'd have to go back and look. That was back when I was doing radio. So I have a lot of stuff that came out of the radio station. I think I've got them both.
We've got them both, and the boss and I will listen to them on road trips.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could do a whole show about like movie soundtracks and television soundtracks. I mean, Mike Post, Non Hammer. I mean, there's so many just, yeah.
Okay, Captain Have Fun says, I've had a real Luger in my face for a movie for like an hour. Doing take after take, it gets to get different shots. Yeah.
Wow.
Hayden 75 for $10. What's up? If Hollywood knew how to use guns, Alec Baldwin wouldn't be a murderer. I mean, shows wouldn't put crew members in danger. I mean, nobody would have their finger on the trigger and shoot someone. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Hayden. Office Girl for $2. What's that?
I said I will let you know that when I carry, I don't have a chamber in the round or around.
Really?
It's a comfort level thing because I've just started.
Okay.
I've just recently started carrying. So the more I do it, the probably at some point I'll
I get the sentiment before I started carrying. I kind of felt that way. But the main thing, I've listened to a lot of people talk about this. And the reason why I started carrying one in the chamber is you never want to be in a situation where you have to draw your gun and fire and not realize that you have no round in the chamber.
Well, you can't cycle the action on a semi-automatic with one hand.
Yeah.
That's why I'm probably going to move to a revolver. Because all the studies and stuff that I've done, well, we should probably not talk about this, but it's all that stuff's going to be under 10 rounds and it's going to be within 20 feet and you're going to have about 5 seconds. Yeah. Stuff in there. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Office Girl for $2 Canadian, Indiana Jones, and the Weave of Destiny with the Culture Casino face. Yes. Randall for 6.99 Canadian. 99. Indiana Jones and the Where the fuck am I? Yeah.
Well done.
That's good. Morb 357. The Batman was woke. Yes. You are a frog in a boiling water, sir. Yeah, I hate that movie.
Yeah,
and like I said, I enjoyed it until the last 30 minutes of it because I like that noir type feel. Like if I were to have to pick a favorite graphic novel comic, Spawn, and then it would be the Spirit, which was more of that graphic novel kind of black and white.
The Spirit movie. I know a lot of people
I did. I liked it too.
I liked it a lot.
People panned it, but it's just kind of that thing. The Phantom. I grew up listening to the radio shows of the Phantom, the Shadow, and Mystery Theater, and even the radio shows that had Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce doing Sherlock Holmes and those kind of things. So that kind of noir type film. Maltese Falcon, that kind of stuff. That's what I enjoyed about it. I thought there was a cool look, cool aesthetic. I didn't think he was as bad as Batman as I thought he would be. But yeah, I thought it was okay. And then those last 30 minutes were just awful. Well, 40 minutes, however long it is. So
I gotta get this. This is funny.
It's my opinion.
Muslim Uncle for $4.99. What's up? How are you doing, sir? Says Indiana Jones time traveling sound. Sorry, time traveling noises. India Jones and the Tiara of Forever, written, directed, and produced and starring Jennifer Lawrence.
I have a button for that.
That was good.
That was great. I'm dying laughing. I was on mute.
Yeah, he's got some funny stuff on occasion. It's good to see you, man. The real Peter Venkman fan site, the Peter Venkman fan site, not the real Peter Venkman. On a scale from 2016 to Afterlife, how bad was it?
That's right in the middle.
Yeah.
I liked Afterlife, and I jerked my tears, so okay. But and I actually enjoyed 2016 until the last 45 minutes, hour of the film.
I never seen it.
Didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't bother.
Yeah.
I didn't think it's gonna be worth saying. I would say it's probably what's the best way to put it? It's low mid tier, I would say, on that scale. Just like Phoebe Waller-Bridge, she's low mid tier. Actually, she's below low mid tier. Like Jensen.
Yeah.
Binary Bart for $10. So sorry to hear about the job. Like I said, man, I saw it coming. I went through recently too. You'll bounce back, my dude. Also, glad you all saw Dial of Destiny, so I don't have to. Hail
Dial of Dementia.
Dial of Dementia. Yeah, sorry. Well, it's the same thing, right? I mean, it's basically what
Destiny Dementia.
Destiny Dementia.
They're two different strippers. Destiny's the hot one. Dementia's the old one. Not good. Yeah.
Hail all and screw Disney.
Screw Disney.
Yeah, it's like I said. It's meh. It's meh. That's the best way to describe this movie. It's
I want to give you that, but now I'm getting angrier.
See, that's what I mean. Culture's arc is going full circle. We went from okay to now. Yeah, the rage is definitely like it's coming around.
Well, I guess for me, it's like, at least with most Disney products, with the exception of what gets me is stupid, right? And Secret Invasion is not on the same level of stupid as this Indiana Jones movie. I mean, there's stuff that's dumb in it, but apathy completely sums up my feelings for this movie. I don't care. I'm Harrison Ford starring in this role right now. I don't care.
Did Harrison Ford look like he didn't care either?
Harrison Ford looked tired and old. Just
really people have said that he did actually try to act in the movie.
Yeah,
like he didn't phone it in. Right?
He liked Indiana Jones more than he liked Han Solo. So he did.
Yeah, he's more invested in the character.
Yeah, he's definitely more invested in the character.
I will stand by that moment. The one moment in the film that actually had drama. And
you're right. And I'm not poo-pooing that, right? My issue with it is that it should not have been in this movie. Despite the fact that he gives a pretty good performance there.
Yeah, but I agree with you 100%. That's my point though. Is he didn't phone it in. He acted his ass off when he had to. I have to tell you, the whoever his stand-in doubles on the masked face, recreation of him in de-aged Harrison time, they were good. I mean, it was
really
40-year-old body Harrison.
I had heard really bad because they don't capture Harrison Ford's mannerisms because he acts with his whole body.
Well, okay, I can see what they're saying, but he doesn't have to because he's tied up a lot, so he doesn't have to act with his whole body. But there's only one scene where his face is more square, like rounded out than otherwise. But for the most part, I thought it was all right. I don't know.
The one thing that bothered me about the DH stuff is that he still sounded like 80-year-old Harrison.
Yeah, I know. That's the same
I
thing
mentioned that at the very beginning before you jumped on. Yeah, and that was like a huge issue for me. That really pulled me out of that. Is that he did not sound like younger Harrison Ford.
Right. But the de-aging was really good.
I thought it was pretty good. Indiana Jones and the 90 minutes till Antonio Banderas dies.
My son didn't believe that was Antonio Banderas. He's like, no,
Who?
it's not. Yeah, it is.
I thought it was Pedro Pascal when I first saw it, but the wife goes, no, that's Antonio.
Who was it? Who are you talking about?
Antonio Banderas,
The captain of the boat.
The boat captain.
That guy?
That was him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was Antonio Banderas, man.
He looks a little rough.
He does.
Yeah. I was like, why is he in this movie?
He looks like a 60-year-old Greek sailor that smokes all the time.
Yeah. And he does look like a 60-year-old sailor.
I just saw Garrett's take on it.
What did Garrett say?
Garrett said he doesn't even hate the movie. He's just like, why was this even made?
Exactly. That's my point. It's like I don't hate it. I don't like it. I'm just like indifferent to it. Meh. Yeah.
It was made because Disney does not have the stones to take a risk on anything original. We're going to remake all of our animated pictures as live action stuff.
Are doing original stuff. The original stuff they don't promote. Most people don't even know the few times that they put original things that it's actually coming out, and they're dead on arrival. And to be fair, none of them looked good. Not if they looked good, I would say, hey guys, what's going on here? But none of it that looks good. Whether it's that Elemental that flopped, and what was that other one that came out in the fall that flopped too? Like they don't promote these things at all.
Yeah.
And yet they say at the same time, like, we need more originals, because I remember they were talking about it in 2019. I'm like, and then when it comes time to put out the originals, they don't promote them all, but they'll no problem promoting the endless sequels and remakes and not live action versions of everything they already have.
But I heard Elemental also sucked too. So
I'm sure it does. I'm sure
they got rid of John Lasseter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big difference there.
That killed everything there.
$327 million was put into this film. And the question that Garrett asks, and is probably the best question ever asked, why was this made?
Yeah.
And I mean, again, this film has to make $1 billion to sniff profitability.
Yeah.
And if any, I'm going to tell you right now, this film is on track. Based on what we're projecting, what I've projected at around 500 million tops, it's going to lose $200 to $300 million. It's going to lose the budget.
Okay.
On the film.
Yeah. So if this thing, like you said, was like 327 million.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to multiply that by 3. And the main thing that most people don't understand when they see the numbers, they're like, "Oh, it made its money back." No, it didn't, because you have to divide that. Typically, you divide that number in half, right? Because some of that money goes to the theater,
right?
Which is the reason why you need to make nearly triple what it makes versus
and
the
that's
budget,
not counting any marketing.
That doesn't include marketing. It doesn't include any kind of reshoots. It doesn't include if it's been sitting on the shelf and loans that need to be paid and interest. There's a lot of things that go into.
There's a lot of creative accounting that goes on to get to those numbers.
Which is why times 3 is the safe number to say they made their money back. That's just breaking even. Okay,
and so the international stuff, it is a crapshoot depending on where the movie's being shown as to how much they get out of the theater from there.
Right.
Like China, what are they getting? 30?
Well, no, if they're lucky, it's somewhere between 20 and 30% now. It used to be you can usually calculate 25% from China, but it's worse now.
So just at a rough guess, I'm saying this movie has to make $1 billion to break even.
Yeah. I'm with you. It has to sniff. It has to sniff $1 billion.
Yeah, China the opening weekend they're projecting
getting there, guys.
Yeah, China's projections are 3.08 million this weekend
for the run.
For the run?
No. Is it just this weekend?
I
heard it was.
I'd have to look.
I heard it was dismally low for the whole run. I mean, and again, if they're only getting 20% or 25%, or let's be generous and say 30% of that money. So you sent that over there for $1 million? No.
Okay. Before I go and I pull this up, this article that we've been talking about. Yeah. Excuse me while I whip this out.
It is for Lifetime Culture. You're right.
Show me.
Oh, after the show's over. Watch Comix' latest video. He on the scroll thing. He actually rises up from below his desk. I think he's got a ladder.
Yeah, he does. Well, it's
called standing up, Toxic Man Flow.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. For those of you who have not had an opportunity to go and buy the Comix Division plushie, you still have a day and 12 hours left to go do that. We are at 279 sold. which is way more than I expected.
I'm getting one of these.
So just
Comics.
drop the link in the chat. Somebody head over to the Makeship and get your very own Comix Division plushie. And if you love Friday Night Tights, there's also a Ryan Kinnell plushie.
Yep, with his
with his crayon, his green crayon.
Okay, are you sure?
It's supposed to be a Mountain Dew bottle, but it looks like a green crayon.
We
have Crusader Odin. And let's see here.
That's Father Murphy.
Father Murphy. Okay.
I'm just
and of course,
I'm saying Odin looks like.
You know what? Jeremy sold enough. He doesn't need to sell anymore. I'm kidding.
Yeah, screw that guy.
No, why, how come he's outselling you? You're nicer.
Oh, please. He's way more popular than me. Let's be honest here.
Jeremy's got his submarine controller.
That's right.
Yeah, he does. He does. He has a submarine
got a
controller.
dedicated code called the 199 on top of it.
199.
They probably have about 3 each, if we're going to be fair here. So it makes sense. He's got a very dedicated crowd.
Yeah, he does.
I feel like
okay. So
are there dressing changes for your doll comics?
Are there what?
Like is there like outfits we can buy for your doll?
No.
I'm sure you have enough doll outfits that you can find some that'll fit it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure culture does.
I'm starting to see a good.
No,
I was gonna
go
mention
ahead.
something about I'm starting to see an Indy 5 pattern because remember when I mentioned Quarter Black's comment? I caught Mark with a C's comment, and I think you were onto something because it's relevant to something you said earlier. You're saying that it's hard to really hate this when you don't care.
Yeah.
And I think the more you care, the more you hate it. And the reason why I say this because Mark with a C, the gospel, said if you're an old Indiana Jones fan, if you loved Indiana Jones in your youth, stay away from the Dial of Destiny. Holy shit, I wish I hadn't seen that. I feel fucking terrible right now.
Oh man.
So I guess the less you care, the more indifferent you'll be, the more you're still invested, which sounds like he still was.
Yeah. And well, don't get me wrong, man. I fucking love, the first 3 movies.
Oh, dude.
It's like I didn't really bother to watch. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it, parts of it. I mean, I saw the beginning of it. I was like, this is dumb. It's like you'd be dead. That stupid refrigerator thing.
Before you get into this article, Robbie's done something that is very important. Remember that culture was having a hangry moment. So here we go.
Mike, what is your deal, man?
Come on, man. You've been riding me all day.
Mike, you're playing like Betty White out there.
That's not what your girlfriend said.
Baby.
You Snickers.
Better?
That hurt.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers.
Oh, that was great. You can still hear it, by the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop it. I'm dying.
That was amazing.
All right.
That's not what your girlfriend said. Her voice saying it with Culture's face is killing me.
I know, it's pretty funny.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so box office. Indiana Jones 5 to Lasso, 65 million opening, a decent start, except for the huge
so
budget.
This is the mistake that they made because they translated pounds into dollars here without doing a translation for the exchange amount, which is why this is wrong.
Well, the funny thing about it too is that they're saying that a 65 million opening is a decent.
No,
not for
and
this.
I thought this was like 65 million for like the Thursday. I was like, wow, that's actually pretty good for a Thursday. Oh no, it's for the whole weekend. That's what they're projecting this.
Dude, that is knockable. Of course, they need to do that spin because they need to try to get people to be, I guess you could say, interested. Even though in normal times we would say this is a bomb, but we're not in normal time. We're in clown world, so of course they're gonna say this is good when they should be saying this.
Let's be honest. This film, and Nick, you're on the right track because this film needs to make $1 billion. to break even. Let's just we're gonna say that we're gonna round
yeah,
up.
and I even rounded up a little bit. I would say it needs a billion.
But honestly, to sniff $1 billion, $65 million isn't going to get you there. Because let me tell you, do you know what you need to make $1 billion? You need to open like Top Gun Maverick. Do you know what that opened to? $126 million domestic. It opened to twice as much money.
Not only did it open up to twice as much money, it was still nowhere near the big opening numbers of Strange Mom or Wakanda Forever, and yet it still outgrossed them both. That should tell you something. When Mission Impossible, not Mission Impossible. I'm lost on Tom Cruise track. Top Gun opened to smaller numbers on the first weekend than both those movies, and yet had more sustainability than both those movies by a landslide. And I don't see Dial doing that.
No,
I don't see Dial having. Like I say, if I'm wrong, I'll eat crow. I'll eat crow. But
can we also point out that the writer is kind of an idiot? Indy doesn't use a lasso. It should have said to whip up 65 million opening.
No,
that bothers me.
No,
that bothers me a lot.
Honestly, I didn't even think about there being a whip involved. I was thinking he was just being metaphorical.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right.
His metaphor sucks ass because it's not relevant.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned the tree rock
creations
said something about this being a waste of a director. Let me just throw this question. I'm not taking a position one way or the other. What are the odds that James Mangold, being as good a director as he's reported to be, what are the odds that he did his best to save this? And this is a saved Indiana Jones. Prior to when he got on there, he did his best to get it over the finish line, knowing what kind of a mess it was. Because we heard all those rumors of the reshoots after reshoots after reshoots. What's the possibility that Mangold was trying to fix this thing from the very beginning?
No,
I will disagree with you. I don't think Mangold's as good as people think he is. I saw Logan.
Mangold's now a company man.
I saw Logan years after it came out, and I was like, everyone's like, "Oh, this movie's great." And I'm like, "This movie sucks."
Hold on, you agree with me?
Yes.
Oh my! You, me, and Clawby are like the only three dudes on the planet that will say that.
I'm like, this movie is awful. I did not like it.
I'm not going to say it was trash, but I didn't understand I didn't understand the hype behind it. I mean, Logan to me was not as good as people think. Now, Ford versus Ferrari was a good film, but what it illustrates to me is the only thing that he's good at is making grumpy old men in films.
Yeah,
bitter, grumpy men in films. That's what he's good at, which is why this was the perfect director for KK to hire to destroy Indiana Jones. Well, yeah, but no, he does make pretty films. I'll give him that, but he doesn't.
I would say that when it comes to making a film look good, because Logan, it looked good. I would say Indy 5 looked good. But just because something looks good, it doesn't mean it's good.
And somebody said this in the chat, and by the way,
he's a good art director.
Yes. Yeah, if he were in advertising, yes, he'd be a great art director. But
okay, let me put it this way: a director is only as good as the script.
True story.
Yeah,
true story. But you know what? If you're a director and you don't get a good script, you don't take the project.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is the grumpy old man that he deserved to direct.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Comics, you look great as Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
That's Comics Waller-Bridge right there.
Yeah.
Well, you look great as a washed up, old and useless archaeologist.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think Culture was about to say I was
Nazi
right.
of color?
I was trying to say that lots of people were right, but I have to tell you, Kadish is going to serve up a fucking pie load of crow. Holy shit.
Indeed he is.
I get to hang out with the Salty Nerd folks on Saturday with no Kadish. Kadish has taken
I saw his tweet where he's in the theater.
I know. He is
mentioned Mangold. It was pretty funny.
I know. So I'm waiting for in the next 20 minutes, you're gonna see Kadish come out and just go It's gonna be nuclear. It's gonna be good times.
Yep.
Look at that. Oh no.
Where's the how dare you? It's a how dare you moment.
How dare you? I know where that is.
How dare you?
Wait a minute. I thought that was good.
Comics and I keep dick stomping each other on the back.
Yeah, we do. Talk to Manflu for $2. Indiana Jones and the overused plot tropes. Oh, you son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Wait, I was going. I had the shoulders going.
Believe me, somebody dropped a meme of you dancing.
What happened?
That we're going to be showing.
Ben, for another 20 Danish krona. Well, I'm the son of the wolfling.
Yes, common nerds drinking Yingling. Love you, brother.
Yingling is good. I have Yingling in my refrigerator downstairs.
And his stuff. He's got some based ass stuff on his Twitter feed. Man, he does some really cool stuff.
Common Nerd has a bottle of Aunt Jemima on his shelf.
Wait. This is important.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I think you're going to say something. Okay, all right. Mr. Grant Gregory for 5 Australian. Can you guys give a shout out to my Nan? It's her 84th birthday today. Her name is June. She is watching now. Holy crap. Happy birthday, Grant.
Happy birthday, June.
Happy birthday.
Cheers to 84 years.
Yeah,
that's right.
What a great name, June. Born in June. Wonderful. And happy birthday, indeed.
I bet she's cute as a bug.
The funny thing is, your Nan is 3 years older than my mom.
Wow.
Senior division.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Division. Yeah,
there we go.
The whole chat's now going birthday wishes. I love this. You guys are so great. I love you.
Eric for $2. Mr. Grant Gregory, happy birthday to your Nan.
For your Nan.
Not sure why she'd be watching us, but okay.
Yeah, well, we're sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry in advance. Not really. View at your own risk, honestly. All right, Ben for another 20 Danish krona. Well, coffee now. I may drink some rum with Nick.
There you go.
It's whiskey, but good enough. Rum is good too. Shout out to you, Ben.
Ben's a boss, dude. Ben's a boss. You guys are killing it.
Ooh, that was good.
True Rock Creation says, I don't think J.J. Abrams would pass on that opportunity if offered.
He's a hack.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Abrams' biggest problem is he can't stick the landing. He's terrible at endings.
He also doesn't understand
middles and beginnings.
The difference between big IPs because he only did Star Trek because he wanted to do Star Wars. So that's another thing. That's a big deal.
I think he only did Star Trek because he wanted a piece of the merchandise.
No, probably. He said it himself that he was never even a big Star Trek fan, and he wanted to cash in on doing his Star Wars. That should tell you something.
Well, it does tell me something, but to be fair, he pulls more money from making things 20% different than he does from
obviously.
So
I don't deny that, but the point is that he doesn't. He doesn't. My point is, it's not that he doesn't just not stick the landing. It's that he also doesn't understand franchises and what makes them what they are.
Not only does he not stick to landings, does he crash planes like Harrison Ford?
Oh God.
All I know is he crashed one of my favorite automobiles in the first Star Trek movie he did. So fuck him.
Oh God, yeah, that was awful. I hate when movies wreck classic cars like that.
Yeah.
I really do.
I'm going to say that for Culture Casino to say something about making something 20% different and then cashing in on it, you're one to talk.
I like shit weaves in a cannot lie.
That was
core member. Yeah, that's
every time Culture has danced tonight. All I see is the gopher from Caddyshack.
I'm all right. I could say that. Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
Is there anything else we want to say about this movie?
About Indy? No, we've done 2 hours on Indy, and I feel like now I have more hatred in my heart than I've had in a long time. All of a sudden, and I started out being, It sucks.
Culture's hating heart.
I'm just glad to say I was here for the entire character development culture casino's hatred of this.
I'm angry.
Okay, all right. Secret Invasion. That's a show that makes me angry.
Oh well.
And,
wait. You're one of 8 people that have watched this, so I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be back.
And I'm the second of 8. So Comix and I can go on. I guess.
I think the only people who have watched the show has been me, Nick, and Disparu. I mean, literally. Me and Disparu, before we went live today on the gaming stream, we were fucking going off on how stupid that show is. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. It's so bad.
It is really bad.
Okay, all right. So,
go ahead, Comix. Go no, lead us.
This is how stupid the show is. So the Skrulls, who have been taken to a planet because they have no home, are pissed off that Nick Fury and Carol Danvers have fucked off for the last 30 years, despite giving them a planet to live on, because he promised that if they worked for him, that he would find them a planet. Well, 30 years later, they kind of got sick and decided that the easiest way to get a planet would be to kill all humans and take Earth. So that's
obviously
one thing. Obviously, they established that the Skrulls are immune to radiation, and that they are planning on starting World War III to kill off all the humans. And the way they do this is by going and this is where it gets confusing. They're supposed to be getting dirty bombs, but they never said specifically that they used them when they went and bombed a festival in Russia. So their plan to start World War III, mind you guys, this is a group of shifting aliens that can impersonate anyone, like the president of the United States, the president of Russia, and they could cause nuclear escalation that way. No, the way they're doing it is by going in to Russia, bombing a festival with conventional weapons that miraculously kills 2,000 people, even though there's maybe no more than 100, 200 people at this festival.
They hyped it up to be 2K people dying at a Russian festival where they killed off Agent Hill, which, in a perfect world,
you had all these people who survived. It's just
that death should have landed in a perfect world, because in the comic books, she's actually a very competent character. Like, no, she is. She's a very
she is. She's competent and fucking evil as sin too.
Very evil. And this has none of the weight. If you only know the movies, it has none of the weight of her character. If it were the books, I would probably feel something more, because as evil she is, she's also has been right on a lot of things in the books. She's had good, hard conversations with many of the heroes where she lays out a lot of brutal truth. And she's right about a lot of things. This show hasn't given her that, not just the show, but even the movies, even the Good Days, they never really give her a lot to work with. But to be fair, her character's not really called for that in those things. So it's it is what it is, basically. This thing, it tries to make it sound like it's this big deal death. And it's just like, these
nobody
things
fucking
would
cares.
mean something if there was something there to back it, but there's nothing there. And trust me, I felt saying that, because I do enjoy that character. I do enjoy her character in the book.
I feel bad more for Colby Smothers than I did for
I do too, because she's a decent actress. She's actually a decent actress. So she obviously is. If she had more stuff she could do, they could have done something. If you had to put her in a movie where she could have done war, maybe Civil War would have been perfect, because she did play a part in the Civil War comic book from Mark Millar. Shout out to Mark Millar, who's actually trying to put out good comics nowadays and actually wants people to read comic books. But it's just really unfortunate that death doesn't land, because there's nothing there to make you feel anything. So it's just like,
and she played such a minor role in the movies. Like, her death it's not as impactful, right? And she spends like half that episode like chastising Nick Fury, talking about how old and useless he is for you to actually give a shit when she dies.
So there's nothing out of character for her MCU counterpart, because she was never like that all these movies. And the same thing we can also say about Nick Fury. He went from this calm, cool, collected guy, not just in the 90s of Captain Marvel, but all the way through phases 1, 2, and 3 at the Avengers, up till the post-credit scenes in Spider-Man Far From Home, where he was just chilling with the Skrulls in space, pretending he was on a fake beach. and he was still Nick Fury, and all of a sudden he comes into the show, and it's like he's a different character in the show to a point, not completely, but to a point. I mean, tell me, Kyle, you got to feel like there are some differences, and not
he's completely different,
and not the character development different, but it's just like you don't recognize him as a personality different.
Well, the way he, I can say the way they act, because like I said, the issue what they're doing with him is like what they've been doing with all these stupid D+ shows, and to a certain extent with the movies, where it's about dealing with personal trauma. So Nick Fury has personal trauma now because he got blipped.
And that's a guy you should not do that to. Granted, you shouldn't really do it with May's characters, but it's even worse because Fury's supposed to be the guy, whereas I don't budge no matter what. He's that super stone cold. Yeah, you gonna get emotion out of me. Like I could see why a guy like Stark would have issues when he has alcohol abuse, and eventually his emotions break out. Or obviously Bruce Banner's a rage of emotions.
Mm-hmm.
But Fury is supposed to be the most stone cold of the stone cold bunch. And now we see him, you're like, ugh, this is really weird to see. I don't like it.
No, I was just you guys were talking about the actors and actresses involved in the show, and you're right. Robin,
talented actors and actresses.
Yeah. Robin from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Mrs.
Colby Smothers.
Yeah, Colby Schmolders. She's very talented actress, and she's very much wasted. She also has everything that the male audience wants, which is feminine qualities.
Yeah.
And I oftentimes feel that they're not leaning into the audience that they should be in the way that they should be, because guys and ladies alike do appreciate aesthetics.
Yes.
And now a lot of the stuff that we're being given have none, especially on these Disney Plus shows. I mean, sackcloth is the new norm.
Are you talking boobies?
I'm talking aesthetics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Curves.
Boobies.
Okay, so let's get back to another thing I was bringing up earlier on when Culture. This was actually my fault earlier.
Was it Venom?
When we were on the when we were talking, you guys were talking Indy 5. We were bringing up the Super Skrull. So in the comic books, there was this character who's like the most, I guess, powerful version of the Skrull. It's a Super Skrull, and the Super Skrull is pretty much how you imagine a Skrull looks like, but with all the powers of the Fantastic Four. Well, obviously, we've not seen the F4 in the MCU. We have seen other characters. And they're talking about how they need to build a perfect creation of a character. And I saw 3 or 4 different forms on a computer, which would make sense because there's 4 members of Fantastic Four. And I think it's safe to say, because they haven't used them, they need to do their own version of the Super Skrull. And they had Groot, they had Obsidian Cole, part of the what was that group called? With Thanos, the Black damn it, I have to not think
Black
about
Swan.
Remember that group where he had Thanos?
The Black Damnit, was that?
Before
the Black Adam?
Black Swan, and I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah, that whole group, they were all made in the Hickman Avengers New Avengers run for Hickman when he did that. That whole group that Thanos had. Thank you, Diggler. The Black Order. Thank you. A lot of those characters. There's obviously they're pulling from that. They're also pulling from one of the Frost Giants as well, which makes sense because we've seen Asgard. So they're pulling these elements. Clearly, it's clear that they're doing their own version of the Super Skrull, and it's just like, oh, great. Now we have to even get this. Like,
well, the thing that okay, all right, and admittedly, I have not read Secret Invasion, but I do know what it's about. It's basically about shape-shifting aliens fighting superheroes, and you have none of that in this show.
Notice how the Skrulls will never become any of the superheroes too, and they try to rationalize the logic of, well, we can't call the Avengers because what if they end up hurting one of the Skrulls and they turn to civilians? It's like, bro, what if they turn to one of the superheroes? Like,
well, that's what he said too.
I know that's what Fury said. I'm responding to Fury saying, what if they become one of the superheroes? You just go let them run. Well, I can't do anything.
Why can't we?
It.
Because there's a scene where he's talking to Rhodey. It's like, well, maybe we should call in our friends. He's talking about the Avengers, and he's like, oh, we can't do that. This is my war. And I felt like the response is, we can't do that. We don't have the budget for it.
Dude, I'll say the same thing. I'm like, really? Can you just say we don't have the budget? We can't afford them because we can't even have the Skrulls shapeshift for even a millisecond. to look like a Thor or not even Captain Marvel. Which, trust me,
it's
I don't like
the
saying that, but because she's currently in that world, it would make some. I'm trying
Skrulls
to play to their advantage, making some sense with it.
The Skrulls are in their human forms all the fucking time, for even amongst themselves, right? It's just like, why would you do that? Budget is the reason.
Is the real so they need to find a reason to rat. They address it in the story to try and make you feel like you can buy. Which to me, as someone who obviously thinks about these things, I'm like, that's such a dumb argument. Because what happens if one of them starts impersonating the Hulk? Is the Hulk gonna look there like, man, I can't do anything about it? Because what if I beat up that Skrull and it turns into a civilian? They're at the air civilian. No, they're gonna be like, no, they're gonna see on camera that two Hulks are going at it, including one of them is an imposter. We've seen this play out in 30, 40, 50, 60 years of comic books. Spider-Man alone has fought many imposters. One of them is called the Chameleon. He's a shapeshifter. The X-Men deal with Morph, another shapeshifter. So all I'm trying to get is that shapeshifters have been a thing for a long time, and you're trying to sell me on this logic to why they can't call the Avengers because the Skrulls could turn to an ordinary
not
being.
only that, Nick. Well, and again, they're using that as logic to because they don't have enough budget. And
Yeah,
plus,
I know, but
yeah,
Kobe Smulders.
Kobe Smulders. We'll leave that right there while we talk. The other thing too is that, okay, so you're telling me that you've had a group of shape-shifting aliens on your planet for over 30 years, and you are not prepared to deal with any kind of contingencies when it comes to shape-shifting aliens infiltrating governments. You've developed nothing over the last 30 years to deal with this situation. No, nothing at all. The reason why the enemy's plan is able to work in this show is because of how stupid Nick Fury in the United States is. Because the moment that terrorist incident should have happened, the moment that terrorist incident happened, they should have gone to Russia saying, we have shape-shifting aliens on the planet. We know that these people that carried it out were not Americans, but these shape-shifting aliens. We don't need to go to nuclear war, right? Again, easy to squash this whole stupid incident. You know what's much more easier? Impersonating world leaders and causing. If you need to go this route, a
like
nuclear holocaust.
X-Men.
Yeah,
like
causing
they did in G.I. Joe.
That too.
Yeah,
causing a nuclear holocaust to wipe out humanity. There you go. Of course, that makes too much sense, which is the reason why they didn't use it.
Yeah, it's called Hand of the Writer.
Yeah.
No. Hand of the what?
What kind of hand job? What?
The hand of the writer. It's an obvious thing that the writer is putting this thing here because it has to be here for the story to go to the next thing that they're gonna do.
It's also called because plot.
Yeah,
because plot. Plot.
But wait a minute. Are we still talking about Indiana Jones? Because let me tell you, everything
there's hand of the writer in that too. Yeah.
There's a lot of that in there too.
Yeah. Was it Indiana Jones or Skrulls?
Yes.
Oh, hey, yes. And for those who are wondering, because a lot of people did see Captain Marvel because it was sandwiched in between Infinity War and Endgame. They are still trying to carry the Skrulls into a sympathetic light, which is absolutely stupid because they are heartless, hardcore villains. One of the most notable stories about Secret Invasion is one of the characters who was disguised as a Skrull the entire time was Spider-Woman, aka Jessica Drew in the books. That was one of the notable things, is that a Skrull walked amongst them as an Avenger. And that Skrull's disguised as Jessica Drew for the longest time. We're not getting anything near to that weight at all. To me, if you really want to make this story really count, have them be one of those heroes walking amongst them, which nowadays we're seeing like revisionist history because of how much Phase 4 and 5 have been very obsessive on that. But to me, that's the only way they'll still make any of this feel like it matters something, because the one thing I'm gonna give it credit for, and trust me, this is my 1 point for a 1 out of 10, is that it does have a set tonality of it, what it wants to be on a tonality scale. It knows what it wants to be there. That's about it. Tonality, and that's it.
Toenails?
It's a spy thriller.
It's a spy thriller, except nowhere is good.
That sucks, man.
It's a spy thriller that's stupid.
Well, and on top of that, okay, we also find out in episode 2 that Nick Fury has a secret skull wife. Would you think that at that point in time you would say that Nick Fury is now compromised? Yes.
Oh yeah, he's a compromise, and that explains a lot of why he. That also explains why he also didn't do anything for 30 years. A, B, they're obviously trying to do the whole another allegory of, listen, look, I'm married to this diverse person, so there's no, once again, as Comics said, there's nothing wrong with me here. So they got to do that. They're playing up the.
I'm not racist towards Skrulls. I'm married to one.
Yeah, so they got to play up that angle. So they got, it's one of those. It's an inclusion angle. They're trying to play up the inclusion.
So they had the African American guy pull the I can't be racist because I have
no.
African American friends.
That's speculation that they're going to do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So it hasn't been done yet.
Yeah, okay. It has been revealed because at the end of the episode, after getting into it with Rhodey, and they have this whole conversation about mediocre, taking power from mediocre white people. And then Rhodey says, we're not going to give it to mediocre black people. And he's referring to Nick Fury, by the way. He's calling Nick Fury mediocre.
Oh, they go into that whole race conversation. I'm like, this is really cringe.
It's fucking stupid. I actually, that scene where I'm falling asleep at the very beginning of the review is actually from that scene.
They're trying to make it seem like it was a very tense conversation, but the more you see it go on, it's dumb, it's laughable even. And it's just like, wow, these are two actors. Once again, this show has a great casting of all these like high talents, but they give them the absolute worst material to work with, which once again proves the conclusion that you could have good actors, but bad material is bad material, and only good actors can do so much. And in this case, they can do nothing.
Yeah, but Nick, after he gets into it with Rhodey, he basically takes out the bodyguard. He leaves. And what's the next scene? He sits down and basically cries on a bench.
Oh, dude, I thought he was crying at Talos on the train, or was that before? Either way, it's a lot of crying. We're getting a lot of crying Fury, and it's really, once again, off-putting because a lot of these characters are supposed to be stoic, but as we said a few minutes before, he's the stoic of the stoic of the stoic. Yeah. And here he is working overtime to air out his public grievances because my trauma from being blipped. But yet here everyone was making a joke about it in Far From Home in high school with the kids like, oh yeah, my brother who's younger than me is now older than me, which I'll admit that was funny. I had a chuckle at that. But to be fair, I'd rather have that than Nick Fury freaking moping around about his newfound depression that he now has. And no, he doesn't literally say it. I'm being figurative here, folks. I'm being fair because I don't like exaggerating things. I'm being fair. It's clear that they're trying to put up these identity politics angles. They're not as on the nose, but it's clear if you're paying attention to what's being said.
Funny.
It's there. It's there.
Are you sure you want to go walking around Moscow at night? Yes, thank you for reminding me once again that Nick Fury is black.
Don't head towards the subway at 3 a.m. You might get in MAGA country accidentally. Speaking of that, I like the fact that Colby Smulders has been up there for a while. She is classically beautiful. She doesn't have a whole lot of tattoos or any that I can see here. This is what you should take advantage of in television and film.
Yep, 100%.
Somebody mentioned she looks like Jennifer Connelly. They could play sisters.
They could be. That's true. And Connelly, they have the same body type. They have the same kind of eye and facial structure. Indeed. Well said.
Egoing 74 says Sam Jackson willingly allowed Nick Fury to be destroyed in Captain Marvel first. I agree. He lost his eye to a freaking cat. Undid the character's development in Winter Soldier. Yeah, 100%, man. That I was so pissed with that scene. It's like, they fucking cooked the character.
But it was made for modern audiences, Comics.
Yeah. Fuck the modern audience. Eric K for $2. Can a Skrull become a panda or a large dog? I don't know. Nick, you got anything on that?
Say that. Say that again. Sorry.
Can a Skrull become a panda or a large dog?
Well, they should be able to because they're skulls and they can do those things. They've also been walking amongst these people for 30 years. in this universe. So they should be beyond doing this, because they mentioned that throughout the years they have well over 1 million scrolls at the point.
2 million. 2 million.
2 million scrolls.
2 million.
Okay, to be more specific. But at the time when they first came in, Captain Marvel was like around 30. So now we're in the current day of 2023, and now we're 2 million. And once again, they're everywhere. And you're telling me not one of them became a superhero, not one of them became J. Jonah Jameson, not one of them became one of the people on the news. This just it's clear that the writers and did not think about any of these things, and they probably
there's a lot
they were
too.
told not to. They were never mind. They were told
Yes.
not to. I remember the screenwriter was our showrunner, something Bradstreet, was like they told him not to read the comics, because you know why, guys? In the comic books, it was a 7-8 issue story by Bendis and Linnell Francis Yu, who's a decent penciler. He had some decent stuff. And this is one of Bendis's better. This is before Bendis made every one of his character talk like a teenager in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, when his characters actually had their own voices. Now, I'm not saying it was a great story, but it was a very it was decent. It got the job done. And this is probably also to when Marvel comics were actually selling Marvel comics. You had Civil War. You had Annihilation, which is probably one of the best events ever. You had Fear Itself. Of course, Secret Invasion. This was a summer event. And once again, Spider-Woman is a character who had benefited greatly from the story, because she was a character who was being taken advantage of as being a Skrull who walked amongst the heroes. So no, this is Secret Invasion in Skrulls as a character who's involved, and in name of the story because story name recognition. This is a big misdirect.
Nick, I got a question for you, man.
All right.
Let's say you go to a country that is, for the most part, I'm going to say largely an ethno state.
Okay.
Let's just use Africa, for example. If you were to go and you're a Skrull and you're, for whatever reason, you set up shop in Africa, what would you make yourself look like? Would you make yourself
one of them?
Well, yeah, I was going to give you a list of options and you can pick. Would you make yourself look like a white guy? Would you make yourself look like a Hispanic guy? Would you make yourself look like an Asian person, or would you make yourself look like one of the locals?
I'd do one of the locals, because if I'm going to blend, I got to commit to, I got to learn not only how they look, how they sound, what is their culture, like, what do they eat, what do they generally like amongst the public, who's their local mayor, or who's their governor. I need to get acquainted with the country. If I'm going to blend in, I need to blend in, as if I already know them. It's kind of like when you meet a friend and you already know he's a good friend, you feel like you've already known him. I need to be like that, but with the general public. Once again, all right. In order to blend, you got to commit.
There's a point to my question. Now, let's say you set up shop in a country such as Russia. Would you make yourself A, look like a black guy, B, look like an Asian guy, or C, look like a Russian?
Look and sound like a Russian is another part. You got to look.
So that's my favorite part when you have the multiculturally diverse Skrulls in Russia.
Yeah.
I see this one of the scenes they have like this black guy and he's showing up to the secret Skrull compound as a black guy. It's like, you're in the middle of fucking Russia. Why would you not make yourself look like a white person if you're a Skrull? And we know the answer because it's Disney, and they're casting you to be more diverse, even though it doesn't make any fucking sense. My complaint about this is I don't care if you want to be multicultural and cast all these different people, be diverse, whatever, but pick an area that makes sense. If like New York would make more sense than Russia.
Yeah.
An area of the planet, hell, London, you could do London, not have it be the United States. And that would still make way more fucking sense.
This is the worst thing about this diversity quota. It's make it like everywhere you go, it's like this. And once again, it's probably, I haven't looked into all the writers' background, but it's people who live in the Californias, the LAs, and the New York Cities, to be more specific, who think because they live in those big cities that it's clear that they put in their head that the rest of the world is like that everywhere you go. And it's not like that.
Well, the funny thing, okay, so Shay says Black Russians. I actually Googled this. There are Black Russians, but they are such a minority.
Well, I think they're great. I like to drink them wearing a bathrobe.
No, in actual, there are Russians that are black. Because I found an article saying racism in Russia after the fall of the Soviet Union. I'm like, oh God, Jesus. Go figure. But yeah, it is very much a minority population. It's like if I was a shape-shifting alien and I was hiding out in a country, I would not make myself look like anything that stands out. As a matter of fact, I would want myself to be, I want to blend in, which means I would not make myself super attractive. I would make myself average. I would want to be one of those individuals that blends into a crowd.
Yeah,
So
the whole just is you're not supposed
now.
to be. Yeah, you're not supposed to be drawing attention to yourself because you have a mission, you have a duty, and in order to fulfill said duty, you need to make sure you get as little focus and attention on you. You're trying to divert the attention, and these people, these scrolls, are doing things that attract attention.
Right.
Once again, it's just like, how am I just a regular guy who goes to a comic book shop who buys comic book? I didn't go to college. I don't have writing experience under my belt. I don't have paper. I don't have degrees in my name. How is it I can think of these things, and these people who are attached to these $1 million shows, and they don't think about any of these things? They don't think about any of these things.
Well, Nick, it's because you have imagination, right? And in order to be a good writer, you have to have an imagination.
Yes.
And you have to be able to come up with ideas, even if it's like a crumb of an idea, and you have to go and bounce it off of somebody or expand on it. All right, Darius, why don't you also for $2? Animorphs was better. Yeah, I remember those books. Yeah, those were like young adult books.
I've actually got my older daughter. She's actually starting to dabble into that, that wave of books, and she's like, "Oh, Dad, what's
the
this?"
other night I was giving Tox and Shags a rundown of like the world building I've been doing for my tabletop game. And Shags was like, "Damn, dude, it's like you put a lot of thought in this," and it's like I didn't even give them like half of what I've done. But I was giving them kind of like the baseline of, okay, this is why the world is fucked up, because it's it's like Dark Sun, right? Is when I was trying to not replicate, but the idea, it's a harsh environment. Why would the planet be in this state? So I'm like, okay. So I was kind of giving them, my thoughts on it, because
all your peoples were white, though.
All my peoples was white.
Yeah, all the characters and all the different races and stuff that you had there, everybody was white skinned in your world because you're a bigot.
No, that's actually not true. I would say the majority of the people of the world are actually
the dark skin. You were talking about that. They were tan
or bronze.
Stuff in there. Yeah, all your base are belong to us, Comics.
Well, it's like, there are white people, which are the Acadians. And it's mainly because they're more like a Viking type people that came in and conquered. But the majority of people.
Acadia means white power. Yeah.
No. Anyway.
He put me to sleep last night too with this.
I love. Yeah, which is funny because Shags was way more entertained by this than Tox was.
Well, I built worlds myself too.
Yeah,
and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. Eric K for $5. Scrolls should all be the Hulk, Thor, Cap, Marvel. Who cares if anyone knows them? They can do nothing to stop you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's a superhero's excuse when 10 of them are once again being the Hulk? And this is once again one of the biggest flaws of like my representation, my everything rooted in reality. You are going out of your way. It sounds good on paper to a degree, but when you actually think long and hard about it, you realize how much you're limiting your mindset, because when you look at the worlds of the Jack Kirby's of the world with the Eternals or the New Gods, a guy like Jack Kirby had, as you said, Cox, they had imagination, because they're thinking, what is so crazy out there, and what's something I can't even imagine be real, but how do I make it believable? In the 90s, a lot of comic book readers loved the Silver Surfer. None of us looked like him. None of us could relate to him. None of us acted like him. But a lot of us were so drawn because he had not only such an iconic killer look, but he was a character who, despite all his power, he still he still had a lot of like heart and empathy,
Mm-hmm.
and you attach to him because of the heart and empathy with Norrin Rad. And once again, these are things that you had to really think your way out to do it, because it's tough, yes, to take a very powerful character like the Silver Surfer or Superman and make you connect them. But that's also the beauty and the challenge of writing is, how do I take a character that's that powerful and make you relate to him? And you can do it. I hate it when writers say, oh, this character is overpowered. No, bro, you're just fucking lazy. You can even, and I've said this too about Superman. Superman's relatable. You relate to his Clark Kent persona because Superman is an alien who embraces humanity. And even though he is not a human being, he is an outcast. A lot of us, assumingly in the chat, we've all been outcasts. I've been outcast most of my life. I know it's like to be that stranger in strange land. We relate to Superman just by being that stranger in strange land. That's what he is. Except he tries to adapt to the world and embraces that love of humanity, though he isn't one. He's
well, the other
once
thing too
again
is like,
someone we should aspire to be. He's not someone who should aspire to be like us.
People want to say that Superman's OP, but they don't understand that his weakness is actually his friends and family.
Yeah. Friends and family, his humanity, because he's very compassionate. Thank you. Oh yeah, I was about to say he's
always trying to do the right thing. His biggest weakness is he's a paladin.
Yeah,
that is his biggest weakness. And anytime you have somebody that lives their life to the highest moral principle possible, they will always fail. Doesn't matter who they are, right? And then in the first Superman, which the second Superman movie where he went around the world so fast, went back in time,
Superman 2.
Right. So what is he? He's having, he's put in the moral conundrum. What are you going to pick? Because you can't do both. So Superman can't be OP because he couldn't save both at the same time. Well, he ends up doing it.
Well, that's my point. That's his weakness is his friends and family, his loved ones.
Friends and family and all this there. But it was friends and family. His choice was between Lois and doing what was right.
And that's an observation that Zod makes in Superman 2. He's like, I found his weakness. He cares.
Exactly.
He figured it out. And that's, once again, what happens when you actually think about it and pay attention. Like, okay, you know what? He does have flaws to him. He does have layers to him that, like, okay, he can't do this. He won't do this. That is what happens when you actually look beyond the surface of, oh, he's OP. Saying the same to the Silver Surfer. Same thing with the Adam Warlocks.
Well, that's what makes Lex Luthor evil.
Oh, yeah.
Is that he's putting Superman in that impossible position.
All the
and
time.
Using people as pawns.
And that's what makes Lex effective, because he knows he's a good
he
politician
knows how
who
to
knows how to play
his,
the game.
Yeah, just like the Joker knows how to pull Batman's buttons. He knows how to push those buttons, right? And that's what makes a good villain and a good hero.
Yeah, it should be the opposite. It should be the anti-reflection of the hero.
Should be a reflection of that. And what I didn't get in the indie film was that opposite reflection of him out of the villain. I didn't get that.
Well, you don't always need to have it, but I mean, those are some of the best villains.
Yeah, those are the best villains. And we don't have writers who write villains like that.
It's like it's like the character has motivations, right? Which is Nazi. He's a Nazi, and he wants to correct the mistakes that Hitler made.
By killing Hitler.
By killing Hitler. That's his goal. And that's really all the characterization you really kind of get from him, other than the fact that he's a Nazi. And Nazi's bad. And lots of films have issues going into development of their villains. And some of the best villains, the way they're written is that they basically, despite the fact that they are doing all these bad things, but they see themselves as the hero in their story.
Oh, the thing is, the writers don't see themselves as the heroes.
Yeah.
The writers nowadays have more in common with the villains. That's one of the other things. They have more in common with the villains because they see so much more of, well, I have to do this bad thing, and because I want it, as long as it brings out something good, they think their might makes right. They think, well, they think because I could do whatever I want as long as something good comes out of it. It doesn't matter how much bad I do. Let's just look at the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like there was literal innocent people that are killed by Ginger Girl, and they're trying to make you.
They're trying to defend her.
Characters.
Don't call her a terrorist. She's fucking murdered people.
She's a fucking terrorist. She's a fucking terrorist, and it's irrefutable. And I'm not gonna connect with that shit. That's a villain. And that's another thing that they do with the scrolls too. Once again, we just when you thought we had talked about it all this episode, it's like, okay, let's just say that Fury actually did screw over the scrolls for 30 years and did this. If the scrolls are such meaningful people who just happen to be understood, let's just roll with it and pretend that they were. They wouldn't just say, oh, well, we didn't get what we want from Fury, so let's take out our frustrations on the rest of planet Earth for what one man did. That is stupid. So you're going to punish the rest of the world for what one guy whose significance doesn't affect the rest of the world. Maybe it'd be one thing if it was like a dictator who affected an entire country. We could have a good conversation. But you're talking about a guy whose presence works in the superhero world to an extent, who just guides it. Fury's what he thinks and does not only reflect nor affect the common man. It's dumb that they had them take out their frustrations on everyone. So it's like, what? No, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're supposed to be noble. Now, if you're a full-on villain who's cold-hearted and blooded, okay, fine. That's what a villain would do, because a villain will go to any means necessary to get what they want, because that's where they're villains. But we are talking about these immigrant allegory, and we're supposed to empathize, relate to them, but yet they can do whatever they want because they're immigrants. Once again, this is another one of those, because of my minority victimhood status, I get to do whatever I want.
Yeah, that's basically kind of what they're trying to go with. All right, got super chats. Let me get these real quick. Mostly gluten for $5 says Scrolls run Hollywood.
That's a true statement.
Feels like that. When we were talking about RPGs, apparently Randall was falling asleep, much like Toxic Man Flu the other night when I was talking to him and Shanks about it.
I was interested in it. It was just 1 a.m. I was tired.
I know.
I'm an old flu.
Brandon, the anime guy for $5 says, "Hail all. This is why I want anime. Read manga and avoid all the things from fuck Disney, or yes. It makes me hurt to see all the things America turn to shit. Yeah, American turn to shit. Also, Brandon became a member. After you all buy that for. Oh, take my money, damn!
Take my money, damn! Yeah, you're just blindly reading now.
Yeah, I thought it was not take my money, damn, but I'll buy that for $1. Sorry, my bad, I misread that. But yeah, it's just everything American entertainment wise, not everything, hyperbolic, right? Is shit.
For the most part.
Unless it's coming from not Hollywood. And even some things in Hollywood are good too. Mm-hmm. But guys, it's getting late. Let's get to the memes and we can get out of here.
Huh? Oh.
Huh? What? Memes.
What am I doing?
Memes.
Penis. Gagging you with entertainment.
Oh my God, the cock.
Apparently True Rock Creations has figured out my plan. He says, "Oh, I see. Now you take the sexy pictures of a woman to concentrate on super chats."
Yep. I'm just bring this one up again. Still Pride Month, sir.
No, it's fucking hilarious.
I love that one. Thank you, Digital Remnant. It was great. Monkey Jeebus dropped this one on my timeline. Ocean Gate Decepticon Imploder. It's sick.
That's your Gunpla.
Yeah, there we go. And then Luke did what? Thought that was good. This one I can't play. This one, that is definitely culture. With a stop looking at my photo. There, so.
Oh my God, that's funny.
That's pretty good. It's Cage too. So it's not a free range cock.
No,
he's got it covered.
Yeah, you should definitely keep it in his cage.
That looks like that.
I have to recreate. What? Fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, look
nice
at
Bud
that.
Lights there, Culture.
Bud's there. Sherry's, yeah, at least she gave you 2. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I only materialize beer in pairs.
Honest to God, thought you were really creating those out of thin air. Will Culture stick? Yeah, we don't know. This old super glue come right down.
Oh God, this was a suggestion from Mexican Iron Man. They wants me to put on the construction hat and super glue myself to the freaking girder.
Yeah, but you still had to hold on to the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never believe that commercial. Indiana Jones and the Depends of Despair. That's really good.
Yikes.
Didn't even have to color match that old skin there.
No.
Who would have thought that No Ticket would have been a prediction for Indy 5?
Nice.
Ouch. Not wrong.
Not wrong at all.
That is an incredible meme.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need to use that for my review.
Fortunately, I've got a copy somewhere. And then that look when you read the screenplay and it's Nazis again. So
well, again, as I said, it works for Indiana Jones, but not he needs to stay within the pulp era, as I've said many times at this point.
He needs to say what you buy? Pulp? I don't know.
Pulp. Is that like a fancy new thing for Brahma's sock?
Yes.
Fucking hate
sock
you guys.
filter. Even Indiana Jones thinks it's a weave. Of course, we'll do.
Oh boy,
Magic Poops again. Yeah, this is just great.
That's still the best.
Yeah, Comix Division in the Temple of Dong.
I'm glad we got to that while Grant's grandma was here.
Oh man,
She's probably telling Grant, "I want one of those."
He's still over there too.
Yeah, he probably still is. So, all right, I'm gonna.
I know he is because I just was messaging with him.
So I know that this is okay for us to watch because
Oh yeah, we're good. We're on
Is it
YouTube.
okay?
Yeah, we're on
Yeah.
YouTube. That's fine.
the music is okay. Hey, Coach!
Culture has never been gay.
Always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, waste no time, feel the pain.
Are those giant watermelons?
In my mind,
Yeah.
pick a lane.
Okay, I don't know the significance of that.
To win it
Can you
life,
explain the
I
watermelons
never
culture?
miss that fact, taking big swings, bitch.
Play that culture club. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was your friend E. Clay Thomason.
That was great. I loved it. Yes, club dance.
Yes. Yeah, we'll I've bookmarked that. Will be.
Drop that
So
into
now
the
we can-
Sunday night lineup instead of Nerdrotic Blue.
Oh God, I can't look at that anymore.
I actually was flossing. Did you see that? I got some
I
floss.
didn't realize
okay,
cottage
yeah.
cheese was blue. And here's Magic Poop's version of Sir Weaves a Lot.
That's right.
Yeah. Good over those oranges or those pumpkins.
I think
they're pumpkins. Nice pumpkin. All
Lumper.
right, that's got music I can't play.
Oh, hey,
Culture
wow.
Jones and the Colon of Destiny special offer. We pay you to come see this movie.
Sorry. Wow.
Yeah.
Look, I you know what? I got to go find my fedora because I look good in
You
a
do
hat.
look pretty good in that. Yeah. And we did that. Oh, this one, of course.
That's super chat.
And let's see.
Culture looks like a less cool version of Common Nerd.
Oh my God, this is funny. June Wong for 5 Australian. For the love of God, here's some money for dance lessons.
I'm awesome.
Yes, he
You're
is.
selling yourself.
People ask that I dance all the time.
He did take dance lessons, but it was 40 years ago. This is
true.
Just what he got from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's me and Joey
then,
Tribbiani.
While these have music on them, I can't play. And then there you go.
I drink Black Russians in a bathrobe. This is true.
Well, okay.
I drink White Russians too. That was a
There's
joke.
cultures.
Yes,
you do what to what?
Can you guys wait? So if the music
apparently culture is a part of the Singing Small Boys Choir.
Oh
wow!
Heyo.
I have some great moves in a lot of this stuff. You guys, unfortunately, there's audio and things. We're gonna have to show it later.
Yeah. I mean, this is just me leaving culture behind.
Yeah. That's so good.
I throw you the whip.
No, you didn't.
Adios,
Dick.
amigos.
He's gonna end up dead because he's gonna step on a thing. So
Listen, you could use your weave and it'd be the same as a whip.
Could have used a lasso right around there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, or Hangman's News from the film I had to force be watched. Good Lord. Oh my God. Hey, look at me. You guys are complaining about my dance moves. Come on. Look at this guy. Oof. The shoulders, man.
I love how you make your backup dancers wear masks, Dick.
Yeah, asshole.
It wasn't me. It was the agency. I didn't do that.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Okay. Well, the ones that we can show anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, the ones that I can show. So that's it. That's the good stuff.
All I know is that Han Solo shot.
He shot
What?
first.
Yeah, Solo shot first.
Load at you. What?
Han Solo shot.
Kind of like the Black Russians did.
No, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no shooting first. It's just Han Solo shot. Next scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jason.
I see it. Yes. Hi. Oh, am I on?
Yeah, we're giving our intros now.
We're not really leaving. I mean, we're leaving here.
Yeah.
No, we're done. We're done for the night.
We're done.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tomorrow then we've got Open Line Friday. People can call in at 1 p.m. Eastern over on Live from the Bunker. So you can opine or ask questions or just shoot the breeze, and we'll do that for a couple of hours tomorrow. And then Saturday morning we've got our news roundup on Good Morning Multiverse.
Awesome, sir.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah.
We needed like an extra person who saw the movie.
Oh, wow. I got okay, I got it.
Guest of
no, I'm kidding. You're welcome. You're welcome anytime, man.
Comics is just being a dick.
Yes. Nick, you can demute or unmute or remute, whatever.
Yes, I'm here. Hi, guys. Thank you for listening to TNT. Hopefully the Indy 5 conversation, Secret Invasion, got you your time's worth. Thanks for being here. Comics, thank you for having me. It was a good episode tonight. And hearing Indy 5, what we all knew what would happen was, well, priceless. And I saw Culture Casino's character arc go full circle. And yeah, come sub to my channel. Comic Shop Talk tomorrow night. D-Bud Martin from the Midnight's Edge Wrench will be our guest, and we're going to talk ASM number 25 through 28 of the original Stan Lee Steve Ditko run. And next Toxic Tuesday will be Chuck Norris's Invasion USA. And yeah, I've been posting every Monday on comic book videos. So check out my videos on comics. I had one this week about what's going on with Steve Ditko and the legal estate owning Doctor Strange, possibly him being the sole owner. Conspiratorial territory? Maybe, but do check it out. So yeah, thank you for having me, Comics. This is a good show tonight. And to all of you in the chat, thank you for being here. And yeah, come check out my channel. Cheers.
And also, Jason, sorry, man. I just realized how asshole-ish my comment sounded.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I didn't take it personally.
I actually really enjoy having you on.
I'm happy to be here. This is fun. I enjoy getting time with you guys. This is fun.
So
Right on, man. Speaking of useless things, I'm kidding.
What?
Look at that look. No, that was an asshole comment. That was intentional. Oh, you son of a bitch. Here's some dance pop for culture. No, nothing. All right, fine.
That almost got him moving.
Yeah, it did.
Anyway, Comix is meanie. It's fine. He's my friend.
You realize I've always billed myself as an asshole with a microphone, right? I mean, just
all of my friends are meanies.
I didn't bill myself that way. I just am.
It's very light, very subtle.
Oh, God damn it! Do you know how many times I deleted that fucking file?
I'm just wondering how long it's going to take you to realize that it's one of the automatic files that StreamYard puts in that no matter how many times you delete, I just hit the add music button and it's always going to be there.
I know.
Yeah.
Right. Well, in regards to tonight's episode, we had a lot of fun. You guys kept it going. Your comments drive the stream. Scott Westbrook was great with his gifted memberships. Look, we are here for you. You guys support us. We love it. 300 plus of you here on all the different platforms. We spread ourselves around, ladies and gentlemen. Not as much as Comix, but you know, or apparently Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but
or Corpse's asshole.
Oh.
That face right there, buddy. That's the reaction I crave.
I have a channel. Some people like me.
What is that channel called?
Oh, it's Culture Casino. It's everywhere. I mean,
what is your Instagram called?
I'm ubiquitous. You know what? I started an Instafacegram book thing.
You did,
but I didn't do anything with it because I'm like, I don't. That's a lot of time investment.
It's called "How to Seduce Your Muslim Uncle" by Culture.
Yeah, but I don't know. You have to take pictures of yourself doing.
He's a man worth seducing.
But I'm just saying, you have to take pictures of yourself doing things that are interesting. And I don't do interesting things. I build stuff. You know, I record videos. I read.
You let people grab your ass on your 6-minute daily.
I was there.
Was that really an ass? I felt it was like a gentle graze. So,
oh, is that a challenge?
I was scared by what was coming out of that damn thing.
Dude.
Well, yeah, beer farts.
I have a channel on Rumble, Odyssey, Minds, Twitter, and of course YouTube. Subscribe to me at Culture Casino. It's very simple. That's me. And then I got a 6-minute daily thing coming up in the morning. I might be awake for. I haven't had a lot of sleep. Anna did the craziest drunk ass review I've ever seen in my life on Nina Infinity's stream last night. Holy cow!
Nina had to privatize.
She had to.
Was it that bad?
It was 5 hours plus. We were not. We may have had some things to drink. It's not Nina. Hannah definitely had. She drank the ocean last night, and if the ocean was made of alcohol, so yeah, it was having. We were having a good time.
I think Nina posted the clip.
Oh, did she? Oh, that thing deserves to go viral, dude. I have never seen anybody so harsh on R ever. And then we brought Gore in later. Like Chris Gore rolled in, he was drunk as fuck. And like all of us had, well, look, it's nighttime. We are adult people. We might have a beverage or two, but it was wild. It was a good time. There you
go. Real quick.
Why I'm on the screen?
I don't know.
Yeah. Why
okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. The John Beck just pointed that out. Oops, I did not mean to highlight that. First off, let me go in order here. So Ace Hanlon, he became a new member at the I'll buy that for $1 level. Thank you,
welcome.
Sir. And the John Beck says some putts donated on Ko-Fi. I actually had to go log into Ko-Fi. I'm surprised I didn't get the notification.
Coffee?
Yeah, that too.
That's what I
Okay, the John Beck for $20 says.
Ooh, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. At tail end of Thursday stream, Comix is asshole. LOL.
Yes. Comix is asshole.
Very similar to China.
Yes.
Oh.
He's a good driver, though.
No.
He does like to set casinos on fire.
True.
Right. Remember, people with beards are just people without beards with beards. Kamala Harris.
Oh, shit.
Is that something she actually said?
Just like her.
No.
I mean, that sounds like something she would say.
Sounds like something she would say.
Yeah.
The problem about those parody accounts is I get caught with them all the time because it sounds like something those dumbasses
like
would
word
say.
salad. Yeah, word salad VP. Yeah. Fuck. What? All right.
Yep.
Hey, did Brahma do? Oh, Brahma didn't do anything. Why? Look.
We had to get super chats, guys.
Oh, what? Okay. Well, there's another one.
Oh,
yes, there is another one. I don't have. Go ahead.
You have nothing to say.
Well, I'm waiting on him to
Culture
do the super chat
in the morning. A boss.
True.
Must be about the boss.
It's got to be the boss. She's got to throw shoes at him.
Yeah,
please do. That.
Should be.
Hey, Brahma, do you have things that you do with stuff?
I have something upcoming. I will be on Mephisto's channel on Saturday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. We're doing Star Trek Wrath of Khan.
Oh wow,
ooh, nice.
Let me know how that compares to Showgirls, because Showgirls is the best film of all time.
I will do that, and then I'll be on Culture's channel Sunday night, and then back here Monday. So, thanks everybody. Good night, good chat, and great to see all you guys on the panel.
Toxic Man Flu.
Man, I have no freaking clue what's going on.
Great producer.
Yeah. I am communicating with some people, and I owe communications to other people. We have people that want to be on and people that want us to go on their shows. So just trying to still get recovered after I've got the merch. I have most of it boxed up. I think I've heard from almost everybody that pre-ordered. So I'm weighing all that up, and we'll start getting that out to everybody. I'll send you Comix's PayPal to pay for that. That's how we're going to do it. Do that from there. Monday, we're definitely going to be talking about the Supreme Court decision today that basically made affirmative action illegal in the United States. So we'll be talking about that.
So that's why it's trending today. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of stars that came out.
Democrat influencers sound really, really racist.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The
one that went around that said that there's no way black people can compete on a merit-based system, and I'm like, oh my god, you idiot.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some bad stuff. Well, I put those in our private DMs comics. So you had those for the ENK channel.
Yeah, you sent those over to me. I didn't get a chance to take a look at it because just getting ready.
Yeah,
for
you
the
got
show
stuff going on.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put links for the current year channel into the chats, and encourage you to go over to take a look. Comix has been doing a lot of good stuff over there, and we'll do the plushies one last time. Put those out there. We've got 1 day left for those. So
yes, 1 day, one more day. Those are some awesome plushies. Me grab the link real quick, and I'll pull that up. Vent for me, guys.
It's in the Gilded.
Oh,
I know. I pulled up Gilded.
In the Gilded.
Dumbass. I still have to click on Gilded and go and share it.
Play the duck
quick
thing.
vamp take.
Wait, did you just call me a dumbass?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like Nostradamus.
I did watch the first 3 episodes of season 3 of The Witcher, and I think Henry Cavill's in it more than he was in the whole second season.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So he was in it for 10 seconds.
It's been pretty shocking. No, it's been the majority of the episodes so far.
Yeah,
so.
I need to watch it for F&T.
I still don't know that I give a crap, but
yeah,
he has been in it quite a bit more.
Yeah, get your very own Comix Division plushie. You have 1 day, 10 hours and 51 minutes. Almost said seconds. I'm retarded. It's late.
Flashlights sold separately.
Yes, flashlights sold separately. Why would you
what?
Suggest that?
Why would you
That's
not?
why I bought 3 of them.
One for statue,
because
one
they're going to
for
wear out
fleshlight
quick.
use, and one
right,
one to have his jerk off cleaned up on.
There you go. You can get Ryan Kennel and his crayon, and you also have Beardo Odin with his pizza shield.
Yeah,
and some guy that looks like a cobra with a submarine controller. No, I don't think anyone's ever heard this guy. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, Eric. I think what you need to hone in on Erica Marsh for your video on the E&K channel because she sucks.
Is she actually is she actually real? Because I've seen a lot of discussion, people wondering if that's the parody account or a chat GPT type of thing or AI generated.
The Erica report.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
real.
that's real. That's real. Yeah.
Yeah, she is a proud Democrat, former field organizer to elect President Biden. She has pronouns in her bio, she, her, volunteer for the Oh Fucktard Foundation. I mean, Obama Foundation, excuse me. Sorry.
There are people that are privately damning me for the green screen of culture dancing. In fact, where is the green screen of culture dancing and how can I get my hands on it?
Oh, God. No.
I've been asked for that. So, E-Clay, if you could hit me up on Gilded with where that is.
I'll save you all a lot of time. WW Pro put that out in the universe about 2 weeks ago. So enjoy. Go looking through his media on Twitter. Yeah.
He was on the Laurel show, so I'm sure.
Oh, by the way, he is crushing it. Valiant's crushing it. We have a lot of people that we love that are crushing it right now.
Yeah, doing really good.
Apparently, Valiant's a right-wing bigot because he's been on Fox News.
Yeah,
really? He's been on Fox News? Holy shit!
Oh, yeah.
Greg Gutfeld mentioned him
last week.
This week.
Yeah, he was one of his videos was shared out by the Blaze too, like on one of their articles.
Yep.
He was quoted by Breitbart, which I think is how he got on Gutfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, well, neat. All right, gentlemen. We are out of here. I just want to say thank you very much, everybody who watches the show. Thank you to everybody who donated on YouTube, Odyssey, and Rumble. Though there wasn't anything on Rumble tonight, I believe. Yeah. Just want to double check. Yeah, guys, it was great. Had a great show. Thank you for the new members and to Toxic Man Flu who dropped 5 memberships. I forgot to call that out earlier.
No problem.
Make sure I didn't miss anything here. On that note, we are out of here. We will see you on Monday, and you can see me tomorrow on Friday Night Tights, where we'll be talking about Indiana Jones again and Witcher. Which I've never seen a season of, by the way.
Really quickly. This Saturday night, I'll be on Con Connection with Snowdub. It's going to be huge. And Punk Waddle, hopefully.
Toss a coin.
Good night, everyone.
Toss a coin to your Witcher.
Yeah.
I believe I've been cued.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. A huge thanks to all the supporters. Without you, Comix Division would probably be hoeing on a corner somewhere.
Look at all those bigots.
Hoeing on the corner.
Go, Rumble bigots.
Well, yeah, technically I'm hoeing myself in movie theaters now. Watching movies.
Wow. Comics Paul Reuben's division. So I went to the movie theater, and there was this.
That joke fucking failed. But the whole joke is like, never mind.
That's right. Dumb. I went to this theater tonight, and there was a midget in the corner.
Oh, you're fired, Tox.
Yep, I know.
You know, I lower the music so Nick can say things.
Lord Shadowfrost the Bigot.
Go, Rumble bigots.
Ah, there we go.
One bigot commandment.
Go, Rumble bigots. Mighty Morphin Rumble
Roger the Shrubber. I miss Roger the Shrubber.
Mighty Morphin
The bigot
Rumble
scenario.
Bigots.
Oh, Basco scenario was in. We got to get him on the show again.
Yeah, Basco's great. You need to get him on.
We do. That's how inclusive we are. We love our bigots here.
Lawrence. Well, Keck44 was good. We had a lot of good people in the chat contributing a lot of stuff tonight. Randall.
Thank you all for
I can't even
watching.
name it all.
You
Darius.
are amazing.
Good
I'm
wrench,
gonna
thank
come.
you. And Eric K, thank you. And being a mod on this channel. I think I saw Redshirt out there too. So
you memers, you guys are animals. And we'll
hey, it's
see
disease.
you. See you
See
later.
you, buddy.